Hello, my name is Larry Rother, and I'm the principal of Chandler High School, and I'd like to welcome you to this production by our TV and video production program here at Chandler High. Since 1914, Chandler High School has been recognized as a leader in our state for not only the academic successes of our students, but our accolades in athletics, the arts, and our career and technical education programs. Chandler High School is the home of the Wolves. The Arizona Department of Education. Since 2011, the Chandler Wolves have taken home 4 state championships, 2 in girls track, 1 in boys track, and 1 in wrestling. Our arts programs have traveled across the nation to perform, and in 2013, the CHS Color Guard was Arizona state champions. And finally, Chandler High School proudly boasts 11 career and technical education programs that perform among the top programs in the state. Again, thank you for taking time to view this event. Chandler High is proud of our tradition of excellence. Chandler High is the school of champions, and our students are champions inside the classroom, in our extracurricular activities, and on the athletic field. Go Wolves!
At this time, please direct your attention to midfield as the Chandler Unified School District Superintendent, Camille Castile, will perform the traditional coin toss to begin our football game this evening. Co-captains for Chandler High are number 7, Lucian Taruga, number 28,
It's the Battle of Arizona Avenue in Chandler, Arizona. Here on ProsToPreps.com, it is the Hamilton Huskies on the road taking on the Chandler Wolves. Should be a great matchup here tonight at Chandler High School. My name is Jared Cohen, tonight joined by Ben Gabrielson. Ben, what are you expecting to see here tonight?
2 good football teams. A big matchup here in Chandler. Hamilton, of course, had their winning streak snapped last week at the hands of the number 1 Mountain Point Pride, and I think they're looking to rebound. Chandler, of course, coming into this game 0 for their last 17. They have not beaten Hamilton quite yet in their school's history, so I know they're looking for a big W this year.
And there's always a first, though, and they're hoping that'll happen tonight. Ben, before we get some things started, as they're figuring out who will get the ball first and doing the coin toss, what are you watching for Chandler and Hamilton?
Well, for Chandler, it's simple. It's your junior quarterback, Bryce Perkins. He's got to be very effective. The kid completes 74% of his passes. That's pretty darn good.
That's pretty good percentage.
He's gonna need to keep that efficiency all night. He can make plays with his legs. Of course, their sophomore running back Chase Lucas is a huge part of their offense as well. So Hamilton's gonna be keying on those 2 guys. For Hamilton, I think it's just how effective can Sam Sasso play. He's your senior quarterback. Didn't really see much from him in terms of big playability against the Pride. Yes, he has been he's had some banged up playmakers, especially at the wide receiver position. But he's going to have to, put the ball downfield, make that Chandler defense respect him and his arm tonight.
It's great stuff, Ben. We've got a great environment out here at Chandler High School on ProsToPreps.com. It's a Chandler High School production on ProsToPreps.com. And to start the game, the Chandler Wolves will have the ball first to start things off. And you got to think, Ben, that they want to get up to a fast start with their high potent offense.
Absolutely. Chandler is looking to pick up the pace in this game. They want to play very fast. They want to play very physical. They know that in the trenches they are a little bit mismatched with the Huskies, and they want to keep them on the field as much as possible, run them down, and hopefully win this game in the second half.
The Hamilton Huskies have one of the top to bottom defenses in the state, and they will be on offense to start. Short kick. That ball is caught at about the 15-yard line, crossing the 30, the 35, wrapped up and pushed back to the 20 after a very short return for Danny Mahan. You'll see him. He's a playmaker for the Wolves and should be catching the ball quite a bit. Like you said, for the Chandler Wolves, junior quarterback Bryce Perkins leads the team in total yards. That has to do with passing and also has to do with running the ball, has over 1,000 yards total on the season. In just about 5 games played. They're 3-2 on the season, coming off a very important win over Cesar Chavez. They lost to Mountain Point the week before. You see Chandler out of the spread formation. They'll be like that all night. Play action. That ball is handed off to Chase Lucas. Turns around, tries to cut back upfield, and wrapped up by a very good Hamilton defensive line, which we'll talk about quite a bit. Junior Caleb Pert was in on the stop.
He is a beast. We're going to be calling his name a lot, as well as his the other bookend there, Quaylen Cunningham, the senior, number 2. Those two are very, very good defensive ends.
Second down and 12, 2-yard loss. Hand the ball off. No, he'll keep it as Perkins tries to get to the outside, tripped up, drops the ball. He might have been down anyway, but he recovers his own fumble, gets to about the 24-yard line, which is about a gain of maybe 3 or 4 on the play. And that'll make it third down.
And this is what you don't want for Chandler. If you're going to play that high-tempo, up-pace offense, you need to get yards on first and second. You can't have third and long and be 3 and out all night, because that Chandler defense is going to get worn out.
And that 3rd and 9, to be exact, is 3rd and 9. Play action. Looking to the left side. That's Mitch McCauley. Has the ball across the 30. Takes on a defender. Gets to very close to the first down marker. We'll see where they spot it. But a solid play action right there to have McCauley, one of their top receivers, open in space.
That's a good play there. Get Perkins rolling, get him in the pocket, get a nice, easy throw. Hopefully they picked up the yardage. As you said, McCauley's going to be his number 1 target all night. Very efficient pass catcher.
And they are just under a yard short here, and it's going to be 4th down, and we'll see what head coach Sean Aguano decides to do here on the first possession of the game. And it looks like they might bring the punt unit out.
And this has been a cause for concern for Chandler all year. As you saw the Mountain Point game where they played and lost. They had 2 punts blocked in the first half, I should say. So special teams is going to be a big factor tonight for Chandler. They really got to shore it up there.
And there's a flag in on the play as the ball is snapped. Scott Knutson is the one set to punt it. One play resumes. But we'll see who this penalty on. If it's on Hamilton, that's a first down. And it's on Chandler. It looked like they started early. That'll move them back 5 yards. So that'll make it now 4th and 6 rather than 4th and 1. Scott Knutson is the punter. And they'll try this again here on 4th and 6. Punt, he muffs the punt. He muffs it and just kicks it out of bounds.
As I said, right on cue, Chandler really needs to shore up their special teams. That was a huge factor in that Mountain Point game. They went up 7-0 early in that game, and then all of a sudden, the special team errors really let Mountain Point into that game and got the momentum on their side. They just couldn't turn that around, and that's just about as bad a start as you can get right now for the Wolves.
Yeah, they had 2 punts blocked in that game. Really cost them. Also, some penalties really hurt them as well. So we've seen both of that so far in the early going for Chandler. Here's Hamilton on offense, led by Sam Sasso, having a solid season, his senior season, taking over at quarterback. And this team likes to run the football as well. On first down, they'll pitch it out to the outside. That's Jaron Eccles. Cuts to the outside and might have enough for the first down on his first run of the game.
Yeah, Hamilton does a lot of, you'll see that a lot, though, a lot of the read option, get Sasso moving out to the side with either Ackles or Tyrell Smith with him, give him a lot of option looks, and then he'll look up the seams a lot for his tight ends. As we mentioned, a little thin at wide receiver, so he's going to try and find some pass catchers as well up the seams.
Yeah, no, we'll see Tyrell Smith name called quite a bit, too, tonight. He's picked up stepped up because of injuries. He has the ball right here, kind of dances around, has some life, crosses the 15-yard line, close to the 10-yard line. Nice dance moves for Tyrell Smith. Way enough for a first down, and Hamilton's moving the chains on their first drive of the game.
Yeah, they're going to try and establish the run here. As we said, in the trenches, that is where Hamilton has the big advantage. Even with their anchor of an offensive line and defensive line, they're going to win the battle up front on Chandler. And that's what they're looking to establish right now here early.
Tyrell Smith was a guy that was only supposed to get a few carries a game. Now he's getting 25 to 30 based on how this season has developed, and he's gotten the job done. Bellis has been impressed. Hand the ball off to Smith again. Tripped up. Nice open field tackle there on the outside. for Chandler. Only a short gain on first down. It'll be 2nd down and 8 from the 12.
And we will mention that 77 doesn't appear to be out there. Casey Tucker, their big left tackle, does not appear to be out there right now. I think he was very questionable coming into this game. It doesn't look like they're going to go without him.
Yeah, they'll go with Trent Moore instead at the left tackle position. The Oregon State commit. He has been Mr. Versatile for the Hamilton Huskies. Played tight end for them in the playoffs. Started the season at right guard and now is at left tackle. The option, Sasso keeps it himself, dives forward to about the 5-yard line. A much better gain on 2nd down, but still a 3rd down upcoming for the Huskies.
You talked about him before the game here, before we went on the air. Rome Geyer, the right tackle for Hamilton, is an absolute monster, and that's where they're going. They're going right side all the time right now. They've gotten 4 plays straight over to that right side. They love going over Rome Geyer.
6'5" junior, and this guy's got a big ceiling, and he touches the ceiling when he just stands up straight. 3rd down and 5 for the Huskies. Big 3rd down for the Wolves on defense. Deep in the Wolves' territory. Smith has it sniffed out initially and tackled for a loss. Great job and great pursuit by the Chandler Wolves defense on 3rd down.
It is tough to get numbers, but I think that was Taruga that got in there initially and made the hit.
Lucien Taruga, the senior, one of the leading tacklers on this Wolves team. And as Ben mentions, with those sweet-looking blue uniforms, it doesn't make our jobs any easier up here in the TV booth.
Now we know how Musburger feels when he's calling Oregon.
There you have it. Huskies will kick. Brandon Krisolek to kick. It's up long enough, and it is good. So with 6:43 left to play here in the opening quarter, the Huskies strike first with a field goal. They lead at 3-0.
And if you're Chandler, I think that's a win. I mean, you came out, like we said, started the game about as bad as you could. 3 and out, you get your offsides on the punt initially, and then the low snap, and the punter couldn't field it correctly. Kicked it out of bounds for a net of 1 yard. To walk away just down 3-0, I think that's a win.
Absolutely. Now for the Chandler Wolves on offense, they've got their playmakers on the outside. You have the guys Elijah Sykes, Deontay Sykes, UCLA commit. You have Mitch McCauley. All 3 guys, not to mention Danny Mahan, who has an offer from NAU. All 4 guys are guys that can make some big plays down the field, so it's important for Perkins not just to get the job done with his feet, but through the air as well to get that offense moving.
Yeah, we saw in the first possession they tried to roll him out, get him on the run. Coach Logano talked a little bit to us about his mechanics just aren't quite there yet. A lot like Brett Hundley in the way that he handles the offense, can move with his feet, throw on the run. His mechanics aren't quite there yet, but he's very comfortable rolling out to the right, especially, and they're trying to get him out and get some completions early.
And speaking of Brett Hundley, how about last night? Receiving
Nail-biter.
touchdown, rushing touchdown, and a throwing touchdown.
He can do it all.
Did the hat trick. Short pooch kick, caught it about the 20-yard line for Chandler. Tries to follow some blockers and rolls forward to about the 30. Solid return, solid field position for the Wolves as they take over for their 2nd time of the game on offense.
Let's see what they come out with here now. That pretty much the same formation for all 3 plays last time. Spread them out. Got Perkins on a couple of read options. We'll see if Chase Lucas can get a carry or 2 in here.
I'm sure they're going to look to go to him against a tough Hamilton defense, especially that defensive line. 3 guys that will be playing on Saturdays, and the 4th, Anderson, who Bellis is a big fan of. That's a handoff to Lucas right on cue and sniffed out initially by the Hamilton defensive line for a very short gain. But we talk about Derek Anderson, the defensive tackle. He's kind of the unsung hero of this group. Bellis was just speaking lots of praise about his motor next to these big horses they have on the D-line.
And that's going to be important all night long. If Chandler's going to try and go up the middle, Anderson's going to be there waiting for him.
That ball's handed off. Terrell Flanagan had the ball there. And they tried to do an end around there, but Hamilton was all over it, and Chandler moves backwards for the 2nd straight play. Right
now, Hamilton just pinning their ears back. Chandler's gone to the air once, and it was an out here by McCauley. And right now, they're just kind of pinning their ears back and running. They know what Chandler is going to do. They know they want to keep it on the ground. and they're not being fooled at all.
3rd and 13 from the 28 here in the opening quarter. Chandler having trouble moving the ball here early. One thing that's worth noting, Santana Sterling, the star leading tackler linebacker for Hamilton, was injured. That snap, bobbles it, keeps it himself as Perkins tries to make something out of nothing, is able to get back to about the original line of scrimmage, even a couple yards short of that. And that's going to bring up another 4th down for the Wolves, and they're going to have to punt, and they're going to have to do a little bit of a better job this time.
Yeah, just not crisp on offense right now. We've seen it, a bad exchange, a bad snap on the punt. Now Perkins is back there to punt.
Which he does every so often to kind of change it up a little bit, but he's definitely not the number one punter. Might have more sure hands, though. As mentioned, it's 4th and 12, 4:42 left to play here in the opening quarter. And Perkins with a punt goes down the Chandler sideline. And let's see where the officials will spot that as it went out of bounds pretty quickly. They're going to spot it at about the 44-yard line of Chandler. So again, Hamilton takes over an offense with magnificent field position. They were able to get a field goal last time out were the Huskies. And as mentioned, this offensive line is the strong suit of this team. Casey Tucker is out with injury, but kind of the MVP in the eyes of Coach Steve Bellis is Aaron Campos. He told me this week that he is what football is all about. Undersized guy, but makes the most of what he has and is able to get a lot out of it. So he's the guy at left guard to keep an eye on. Sasso back to throw, has time, looking downfield, has a man, incomplete, and a flag comes in. 2 of them come in. Very surprised the back judge wasn't the one to throw that flag, but the 2 other officials picked it up.
Yeah, the line judge on the near side towards us threw that flag. That was a post on the outside of the field. I'm not quite sure if he saw a pass interference. There might have been a holding down here that was the call, but pass interference, that's a tough call from the other side of the field.
Yeah, and it looks like he was tripped up right before the ball got to him. But either way, that's positive yardage for the Huskies on 1st down. They were looking to strike on their first play of the drive. And they're still lining up here. The officials trying to figure out what the exact penalty is. It looked like it might not be on the Chandler Wolves based on where everyone is lined up right now.
Yeah, they haven't moved the chains at all. There we go. It is going to be pass interference.
So it is pass interference on the Wolves.
That's a tough call there for the Wolves. Tough break. As I said, the line judge here on the near side threw the flag. He was actually back behind the plate, more towards the line of scrimmage. To throw the flag there on a post on the other side of the field, that's a tough break for the Wolves.
So a big penalty moves the Huskies all the way down to the Chandler 15-yard line where it'll be 1st and 10. Smith and Ackles are the 2 running backs in the backfield. They got a wide receiver spread out to the right. Sasso hands it off to Ackles. Has a big hole, lots of space, powers his way down across the 5-yard line to maybe about the 4-yard line is where they're going to mark it. A big run and enough for about a 1st down.
Aside from that pass play that they just got pass interference on, Hamilton is almost running the same exact play. They're running a trap block. They're pulling Campos from the left side, going around to the right, and he is just paving the way right now. He is taking out the Wolves linebackers as he gets to the line of scrimmage, and they can't do anything about it. They're not getting a push at all up front.
1st and goal from the 4. Sends a man in motion. That's Chad Nelson. Handoff Sasso to Smith. Smith trying to get some daylight. Dives forward close to the goal line, but short. Maybe at about the 1 is where they'll spot it. So it'll be 2nd and goal from the 1. And they're running to that right side every time, Ben. You're absolutely right.
Every single time. And you know who's on the right side For Chandler, the opposite side of where they're running is Jordan Hoyt. They're staying away from Hoyt, and they're running to their strength with Geyer and pulling Campos.
And Jordan Hoyt, as you mentioned him, is a great story on the Chandler side of the ball. This is a guy with a knee injury, missed the entire 2012 season. He's one of the leaders of this defense, but came back, still showed up for practices, and is now one of the top players on this Chandler Wolves team. Second and goal. Oh, the ball's fumbled. Smith ends up with it somehow. Dives forward. Touchdown, Huskies.
Wow.
Making something out of nothing as Sasso fumbled the snap. The ball landed in Smith's hands, who was probably going to end up with the ball anyway. Cuts to around to the right side yet again and dives forward for 6.
That's just fortunate. They got a lucky bounce there, Sasso. I don't think he was looking when the ball was snapped. It went through his hands, as you said, right to Smith, and he was able to run it in for the score. Tough break for the Wolves there.
So now the Huskies line up for the extra point, looking to make it a 2-score, 10-0 game here with just over 3 minutes left to play in the first quarter. Snap down. Kick is blocked. It is blocked. Great job right there on the block by Lucian Taruga, the senior. That's the second time we've mentioned his name. He got through there like no one had touched him. So it will be 9-0. If you want to take a positive off of a negative, the Chandler Wolves give up a touchdown but block the extra point. 9-0 is the score with 3:10 left here in the first quarter.
Yeah, well, Chandler just needs to be more efficient on offense right now. They need a first down. They need to move the ball out of their territory. As we said, Hamilton's taken over twice now inside of their own 40 of Chandler's 45. So pretty ideal field position for the Huskies so far.
And now it's time for the Wolves to respond. In games that they have won this year, they have lost 2 of them. But you know what? This isn't completely true. They have come out fast. They came out fast when they played St. John's Bosco, but gave up a lead. But they came out slow against Mountain Point, despite going up 7-0, and had to fight the rest of the way to come back. They don't want to fall too far behind here against a very good Huskies team that's coming off a loss and is very hungry for a win, especially against their down-the-street rival.
This has kind of been their MO against Hamilton, though. It gets to this game, and every year it's this is our year to beat them, and they come out a little sluggish. Couple of miscues on special teams. They need to reverse the field position battle right now.
Well, Flanagan has the ball. He's dancing around, still on his feet somehow as he crosses the 30-yard line. But a solid return right there from the junior, Terrell Flanagan. And the Wolves, yet again, will take over with decent field position for the second straight drive, both times past the 30.
Yeah, Chandler started with the ball over the 30 every time. They just have not been able to pick up that first down yet and changed field position.
So 1st and 10 from their own 31-yard line is Bryce Perkins and the Wolves. They'll send a man in motion. That's Mitch McCauley. 3 to the right. Hand the ball off to Chase Lucas. Got a lot of space. Cuts along the outside, trying to get to the 40-yard line. He's taken down at about the 37, but a solid gain on first down for Chase Lucas.
Looked like he had a little bit more real estate to really pick up a big play, but at this point, Chandler's definitely going to take that 7 yards on first down.
Spread it out, still 2 right, 2 to the left. Perkins will keep it himself, trying to find a blocker, gets away from a tackle. Late hit right there, and that's going to draw a flag. That's Jawan Jones. After Perkins had already been out of bounds, Jawan Jones gave him a little bit of a shoulder nudge, and that's going to draw a personal foul penalty and will be a first down for the Wolves.
Now Chandler has something going. Let's see what they can do here. They'll be in Hamilton territory.
Jawan Jones is an interesting guy. He's one of the top players on this defense, a player who is getting recruited to play at the next level, and he almost makes the game look a little easy, the way he's so smooth and doesn't always look like he's going his full, but he's actually does a good job for the Huskies. Actually, Steve Bellis praised him by saying he's the type of guy that really steps up as the season rolls along towards the end of the year, and they're hoping to see that out of him again this year, but don't want to see stuff like that.
Big physical guy. You can see him out there playing safety. He is a big natural athlete out there.
So after the penalty, Chandler will move the ball into Husky territory for the first time. It's 1st and 10 from the Husky 46. Flanagan in motion. Perkins hands the ball off to Chase Lucas, and he's wrapped up immediately. And it looked like that was Caleb Pert who came inside to make that tackle. And Caleb Pert, one of the most impressive juniors in the state of Arizona.
Absolutely. We said the bookend defensive ends, Quaylen Cunningham and Caleb Pert, those guys have just been solid this year. And if Chandler's going to try and run inside, those two guys, they're going to need to get a hat on a hat there.
2nd and 9 from their 45. Hand the ball off to Lucas. Has a big hole up the middle. He's got space, and there's that speed. Going towards the end zone. Touchdown, Chase Lucas. Chandler Wolves respond, and there's the speed that everyone's been talking about since the season started.
Give that guy a little bit of a crease and just watch his heels. That kid can fly. Only a sophomore, as we mentioned. Chase Lucas finding a little bit of a crease. Quaylen Cunningham came way too far upfield, lost his assignment, and Lucas just ran right past him.
45-yard touchdown run for the sophomore who's just having a special season. And how's that for the confidence of the Chandler Wolves after a blocked extra point, turning that back around into a touchdown? And with an extra point pending, they could be inside a possession. Extra point is up and no good. He hooked it left. So we've seen a pair of missed extra points here early. And with 1:48 to play here in the opening quarter, 9-6, the Huskies on top.
Beamer ball, it is not right now. The special teams are struggling on both sides. But for Chandler, you got to feel good about that. Finally getting a crease and breaking through. Quaylen Cunningham just got too far upfield. Hamilton was doing such a good job at the point of attack, really keeping on their blocks and staying in their holes, staying in their assignments. But Chase Lucas that time, just too much speed and got upfield very quickly. Chandler now within 3.
And that's a big-time statement right there for the Wolves because, as you mentioned, they came out a little bit flat. But coming back and responding with a very solid offensive drive, everyone knows that they can put up points. And if they can create space for these playmakers that they have on the outside, things like that can happen. So for the first time tonight, the Huskies will receive a kick. And the kick is up, and it's short, and it's going to be... There's a flag on the play. Jerrion Ackles was the guy that the ball was kicked to, but there was a flag, and it looks like it might be a false start on the kickoff.
So special teams errors continuing to pile up for both teams right now.
So Scott Knutson will move back 5 yards to the 35. Cromar and Ackles back to receive for Hamilton. Knutson to kick. 9-6 Huskies here in the first quarter. Ackles the one to receive it at the 25. He crosses the 30, trying to follow some blockers. Powers forward across the 40-yard line. And, that's the thing, Ben. They're trying to avoid the big return by kicking it short. You see this a lot in high school this year. Yet, you kick them short, and the offensive team still gets the ball across the 40. So it's almost a double-edged sword.
Yeah, and Hamilton has been doing kind of the same thing as well, a little pooch kick, maybe trying to get an up back to field that ball, but the returners now, they see what they're trying to do. They step up about 10 yards, and your returners are getting the ball at the 25. Even with a decent return, you still got the ball across the 40.
Yeah, we saw Chandler do that their last two possessions. They had the ball across the 30, but now Hamilton has the ball 1st and 10 at the Chandler 42, so yet again, good field position for the Huskies. Sasso hands it off to Smith, cutting around the outside. Good shoestring tackle on the outside right there for the Wolves.
And I'm just waiting for them to switch Hoyt to that left side. The left side of the Chandler defense, they are exploiting them on the Hamilton far side of the field. The Hoyt continues to play here towards the near side. We'll see if they make that adjustment, but right now they're going over Campos and Geyer on the right side.
Defensive back Wes Sutton was the one in on the stop. It was a gain of 3, 2nd and 7 from the Hamilton 45. Sasso is 2 to his left, has some pressure, steps up in the pocket. He's going to look downfield but keep it himself. Dives forward to about midfield and he goes out of bounds. Solid gain and solid decision-making right there for Sasso, who had that pocket collapsing on him pretty quick.
Nice job by Sasso. Chandler had one-on-one coverage on the outside. He wanted to go to, I think that was Elijah Woods streaking down the far side there. He wanted Williams, but Chandler just closed in too much. A great play by Sasso to make something out of nothing.
So the ball is at the 49-yard line of Hamilton's. 3rd and 3 as we're inside a minute left in this first quarter. Rolling out Sasso, looking at Williams. Good out and up by Williams, trying to get it to him, but the ball is thrown out of bounds. That was a great route right there run by the senior Elijah Williams. Kind of an out and up pattern. Sasso, who was rolling out, had some pressure as he let go of the ball, so it was off target. And that's going to bring up 4th down and a 3 and out for the Wolves on defense.
Isaiah Reed had that out route covered very well. Williams tried to then go upfield. Sasso couldn't get enough on it, rolling around to the left side, throwing across his body.
And with that, the clock stops after the incompletion. 19 seconds left in the first quarter. And that's Josiah Pola set to punt. Snap and kick is up. It's a decent one. Fair caught at about the 20-yard line by Chase Lucas, where the Chandler Wolves will take over, coming off a possession where they scored on a 45-yard touchdown run by Chase Lucas. And they take over on offense with the opportunity to go ahead here.
Momentum slowly shifting. They come out, they stop Hamilton, they take him 3 and out, even with a good field position. Now they get the ball back, see if they can get a couple of first downs here. This probably will be the first play, or the last play of the first half, or quarter, I'm sorry.
2 split backs. They're going to send one in motion. That's Elijah Sykes, but they hand the ball off to Chase Lucas. Try to send him up the middle just like last time. Garrett Rand, another great sophomore, along with Chase Lucas, was in on the stop. Now, Ben, those are two probably number 1 and number 2 sophomores in the state right there stopping each other.
Yeah, Rand has a big future. Bellis was praising him in our pregame talks, or your pregame talks with him. He's going to be a heck of a football player for Hamilton in the future.
So that's it for the first quarter here from Chandler High School, the Battle of Arizona Avenue. After one, 9-6, Hamilton on top. We're going to take a short break, but we'll be back here for the start of the second quarter. Jared Cohen and Ben Gabrielson with the call on a Chandler High School production on pros2preps.com. Welcome back in here to Chandler High School. As we start the second quarter, it is 9-6. Hamilton is on top, and we'll start second down and 9. And it looks like Deontay Sykes moved a little bit quick. So Chandler will start this possession of this quarter with a false start penalty. It'll make it 2nd and 14. Deontay Sykes, one of the top playmakers. That's a great matchup on that right side between him and A.J. Greathouse, two very, very talented players.
Mm-hmm. Greathouse had the pick 6 last week against Mountain Point.
Perkins keeps it himself on the option read, has some daylight down across the 30 to almost the 35-yard line. Good read right there for Bryce Perkins. It has enough for the first down.
Very good read. He caught the defensive ends a little too far upfield and kept it himself for a big gain.
1st and 10 from their own 34. Bryce Perkins keeps it himself again, goes off tackle, gets away from one tackle, dives forward to the 35, gains 1 on the play. And that's a good job by Perkins, still managing to get positive yardage on that play that broke down, unlike the way they wanted it to go. Second and 9 from their own 35, just underway here in the second quarter from Chandler High School. Wolves trail 9-6. They send Sykes in motion. Perkins back to throw, looking to the center of the field. Post route, Mitch McCauley, they have him for a first down. Solid route down the seam by Mitch McCauley. Takes a hit, and man, did he take a big hit right there. But still holds on to the football and a solid gain there on second down.
Hamilton only rushed 4. They picked it up. Very good blocking up front. Perkins was able to find McCauley, as you said, a very well run route.
Jalen Jenkins was the one making the tackle. Quick strike again, and that ball came loose, and Hamilton has it.
It's going to be taken back. There was a late hit on Perkins.
There is a flag down. Ben's calling it as a late hit. That ball was caught by Mitch McCauley for the second straight play, and he dropped it. Yes. Hamilton came up with the ball.
Santana Sterling got in there way too late and popped Perkins after he had released the ball, and I think that's what they're going to call a roughing the passer there.
And if it is, that's a big break for the Wolves. Yep, roughing the passer is the call that moves them up 15 yards.
Big play there. So far, Chandler, their touchdown drive, they got the unnecessary roughness on Perkins on the far side of the field, and now a roughing the passer call, and they are on the move. Let's see if they can capitalize just like they did last drive.
Moves the ball up to Hamilton's 26-yard line where it'll be 1st and 10. Man in motion. Perkins hands the ball off to Lucas. Lucas trying to find some room. Gets around a few defenders. Crosses the 20-yard line to about the 19. Solid 6-yard gain there on first down. And the Huskies' offensive line doing a good job of creating some space for Lucas to run around.
They give him some real estate, and Lucas had a gorgeous cut in the middle of the field there. He kind of had the option to go right or left. Had very good vision, cut to the left, and some really good downfield blocking by Flanagan as well, the wideout.
That's Sykes in motion yet again, so Perkins has 3 receivers to the right. And they'll hand it off to Lucas, and Hamilton's defensive line was all over that one. Santana Sterling was one of the guys that initiated that pursuit. A loss on the play makes it 3rd down for the Wolves.
Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 Huskies that time. They brought the house. That's Engage 8 if you're playing NCAA Football 14.
Love playing the Engage 8 on NCAA football. And Perkins looked like he didn't want to get rid of the ball there, but he did anyway. Perkins on 3rd down, back to throw. A screen. Lucas has it. Great pursuit again on defense right there for Hamilton. Jalen Jenkins was the one that came up from the defensive back spot.
Really good call there by the Wolves. I love the screen call. Kind of play their aggressiveness against them, but the execution just wasn't quite there.
So they're kind of outside field goal range, but too close for punting. And the Wolves are going to talk this over to see how they're going to go about it, so it'll be a timeout. So after the Wolves got the ball up to the 20, to about the 19-yard line, they move back to the 26 where it's 4th down. And now this could be a big play in the game here because the Wolves had something going until these last 2 plays. They have some momentum, but if Hamilton can stop them on 4th down, that could be a huge momentum swing.
Yeah, looking about a 43-yard field goal right here. And judging by what we've seen so far in special teams, I don't know if you want to take the chance at field goal right here.
So as mentioned, the Chandler Wolves coming off a big win last week. They lost their first game in state of the season. They had dropped 2 straight. total going into a game against a Cesar Chavez team that's a little bit down this year, but always a tricky team to go up against, and the Wolves kind of handled their business to get that confidence back, that swagger they had from the beginning of the year where they rolled teams like Centennial and played great against St. John's Bosco. And they're kind of trying to have that carry over to this important game against Hamilton. They're in striking distance of possibly taking the lead here in the second quarter, but it's first to 4th and 10. Perkins, play action to Sykes, rolls to his right, looking downfield, has a man overthrown. Ball intended for Deontay Sykes. So Hamilton forces a turnover on downs. Big stop there for the Huskies, who had given up a big penalty, but they're able to get their defense off the field, and a tough break for the Wolves.
Yeah, it's tough to say now because they turned the ball over, but I did like the play call. Give him a run-pass option, had 3 guys coming from across the field, and Perkins just very good coverage by Hamilton. He had nowhere to go with the ball.
So Hamilton takes over 1st and 10 from their own 26-yard line. Ackles gets the carry. Good tackle right there, but he's still moving his feet. What great effort right there for Jerion Ackles, who was hit at about the line of scrimmage but still plunges his way forward for about a 6-yard gain.
Taruga had him right there at the line of scrimmage, and Ackles just kept moving his feet, pumping his legs, and ended up getting 7 on the play.
So that'll make it 2nd and 4 from Hamilton's 32-yard line. They got one man spread out to the right. That's Elijah Williams. Bunch formation, if you could call it that. They hand the ball off to Ackles again, going left. Has a blocker leading the way, but good job by the Wolves wrapping him up after he just crosses the 30-yard line. He not quite sure if he made it to the line of scrimmage, but good pursuit right there for the Wolves defense.
Now they're trying that far side, the left side of their line, and it's not going as well as their efforts were to the other side.
You know, you have that one wide receiver on the opposite side spread out. There's all that space on the left side of the field. Hamilton's trying to take advantage of that, but just not quite getting their blockers around quick enough. 3rd and 4 from their own 32. Sasso, play action, steps up. Good pressure for Chandler, but Sasso will take off himself. Good tackle right there at about the line of scrimmage. And Garrett Jacobson, the inside linebacker for the Wolves, didn't let Sasso go far, didn't let him reach the first down marker, and that's a 3 and out for the Huskies.
Good stop by Chandler. Thought Sasso was going to escape there, but Jacobson able to corral him and bring him down.
Back, Josiah Pola-Gates back to punt. Danny Mahan at his 35, and that ball's fumbled by Pola-Gates. Keeps it himself, and he's tackled at about the 24-yard line. Big special team mistakes for Hamilton. And so now they've kind of traded mistakes off. Both teams have in the punting game. And now Chandler with great field position as they take over on offense.
That's been the story all game, and it will continue to be that way. Special teams miscues. Both teams have just been hampered so much by their special teams play. Another botch snap, or that was even just on the punter himself. That was a pretty good snap, and it just went right through his hands. Chandler takes over now with very good field position, about 6:55 to go.
1st and 10 from Hamilton's 24. Perkins keeps it himself, runs up the middle, breaks some tackles, still on his feet as he crosses the 10-yard line. Great run, 1st and goal, Chandler Wolves.
And finally, they get something going up the middle. A very good read by Perkins, saw the hole, busted through, and now it's another 1st and 10.
And it's plays like that where you can see what Coach Aguano's talking about, where he's at mentally with this game. That's a great decision-making right there on the option read that's solely on Perkins to make the right decision, and he sure did right there. 1st and goal, Wolves from the 8-yard line. Still out of shotgun. Perkins again keeps it himself, runs up the middle. Not going to happen this time. Garrett Rand once again right there on the stop. And this guy, I tell you, Ben, is just a monster, and he's only about 15, 16 years old.
I could not imagine being that size and being that physical at 16 years old. Probably not even driving yet.
It's crazy. The size of Garrett Rand. They moved backwards 2 yards on that play. 2nd and goal from the 10. Perkins, play action, has a man downfield but keeps it himself. Now he throws it to the side. Danny Mahan's the one that catches it at about the 5-yard line. That was a very scary throw right there from Perkins, but was able to execute and move up 5 yards, which will be a much more manageable 3rd and goal.
Yeah, he had Mahan right off the bat on the fake. He leaked out into the flats, but decided to keep it, then decided to go back to Mahan. Luckily, he was still open, and Perkins was able to stay up just enough to get him the ball.
And I apologize, Ben, that was Chase Lucas, the one that came up with that ball. And in fact, that was very similar to the first touchdown that Chandler had against Mountain Point a couple weeks back, where Perkins made a little bit of something of a broken down play, dumped the ball off to Lucas on the outside. He ended up taking it for 6. But a penalty on the Wolves.
Yeah, that's a big penalty right there. They said he crossed the line of scrimmage in a legal forward pass, and the kicker with that penalty is it's a loss of down. That is just a huge penalty right there for Chandler. They go from having the ball 3rd down at the inside the 5 to now 3rd and the goal from the 14.
Moves them back quite a bit, but they're going to stay spread out. 3 to the right, 1 to the left of Perkins. Has a man, Deontay Sykes, and he dropped it. Started moving before he made the catch, jumping on it as Santana Sterling, thinking that was a live ball. That was an incomplete pass, though. And Deontay Sykes had some blockers ahead of him. Would have been tough to reach it to the end zone, but still, that's a tough drop.
They're making sure that was indeed a forward pass, which I think it definitely was. So Chandler will now have a field goal attempt coming up here.
So now Chandler will set up for a field goal to try to tie this game up with 5:25 to play. Snap is good. Kick is up. Has enough distance, and it is no good. Just hooked a little bit left at the last minute. Definitely had enough distance, but the 31-yard field goal to try to tie the game is no good. So Hamilton survives yet again a push from the Chandler Wolves offensively, and they take over 1st and 10 from their own 20-yard line.
Pretty good-looking kick. It's tough to tell from up here, but I don't know where that missed. I guess it missed left. It was looked online and definitely had enough leg, but a tough break for Chandler as it just squeaked a little left.
So 9-6 is the score. 5:20 to play here in the first half. Most receivers set up that Hamilton has had all game. There's 2 to the right and to the left of Sasso. They're going to send 1 in motion. Hands the ball off to Smith. Goes along the outside, crosses the 25, close to the 30. Taken down by Taruga. Man, Taruga is everywhere tonight. He came to play.
He's playing on that near side, and that's where they're going back to. Chad Nelson, the senior tight end, had a really good block as well on the outside. I think that was on Hoyt.
Credit Wes Sutton in on a stop as well. But a solid 8-yard gain on first down for Smith, 2nd and 2 from the 28. They'll send a man in motion yet again. Sasso hands the ball off again to Smith. Sniffed out originally on the play by Taruga again. Can't say this kid's enough here in the first half.
Yeah, he busted through the line. He read it right off the bat, and he was coming from that left side.
And the clock will stop. Don't know if a timeout was called. I think it was. A timeout was called by the Wolves.
Yeah, I think Chandler called a timeout, 3rd down, trying to save some clock.
That was a 1-yard loss on the play. So when play resumes, it'll be 3rd and 3. And this Chandler Wolves defense, a very senior-driven group. There's only about 3 players on that side of the ball that are not seniors and have great senior leadership as well. You mentioned Jordan Hoyt, They also have Cruz Flores, Wes Sutton, J.R. Hunt, the U of A commit. They have a lot of talented players, not to mention Lucien Taruga, who we've mentioned quite often in this game so far. A very senior-led defensive group that's looking to get their first win ever against the Huskies tonight.
Hunt's come down to the near side here.
Yeah, they got Hunt and Taruga on the same side of the ball. 3rd and 3, 4 minutes to go. Sasso, play action, keeps it himself. Pressure, gets away from it, and taken down by Taruga before he can get to close to the first down marker. It's going to be short. The first down marker was the 31. He was tackled at about the 29-yard line. Again, a first down saving tackle from Taruga, who has been absolutely everywhere for the Wolves here in the first half, and another 3 and out for the Huskies.
Tony Navarez came busting through the line of scrimmage. They're outside, the senior outside linebacker for the Wolves, and had a shot at Sasso. Sasso did a great job escaping again, but our boy Taruga all over him there and able to stop him just short of the sticks. It's 4th and 1.
Chase Lucas this time back to receive the punt, standing at about his own 40-yard line. Josiah Pola, who misplayed the last punt, will get this one off with relative ease. There's room for Lucas to run. Catches at the 41. Looking around. Tripped up as he crossed the 50-yard line by A.J. Greathouse. So Chandler will take over in Hamilton territory as they start on offense. And right now Chandler's kind of controlling the pace of this game. They've been the ones that are moving the ball on offense, and they're getting stops on defense, just aren't able to prove it on the scoreboard so far.
Aside from their first 2 possessions where they went 3 and out and then a couple of tough special teams plays, that's where Hamilton got their 9 points. They've really played well since then.
I'll end around to Elijah Sykes. Gets away from Santana Sterling, trying to get back to the line of scrimmage. He's going to end up being a yard short. That could have been a lot worse. Sykes does a good job of breaking a tackle, and he fought back to, they're going to spot it at about the line of scrimmage. It'll be 2nd and 10 from the Hamilton 46.
Yeah, that could have been way worse for the Wolves. He was in no man's land there, about 10 yards away from the line of scrimmage, able to fight his way back for only a loss of 2.
3 to the left, 1 to the right, and they'll blow the play dead. It's going to be a timeout for the Wolves. So one thing, Ben, that haven't seen quite as much from the Wolves so far, even though they have been moving the ball pretty well, is they like that horizontal passing game. That's something that Elijah Sykes had a great first game of the year of against Centennial with some of those horizontal passes. Haven't seen that quite as often in this one, but you got to think that that's in their repertoire here at some point.
Yeah, McCauley had a nice catch down the middle of the field, and they've tried to get the ball down the field. The Hamilton pass rush has been very good, and Perkins right now has kind of been rolling out to his right side, hasn't been quite able to find anyone open downfield. As I mentioned, McCauley's had the one big pass play, but both the Sykes, Deontay and Elijah, look for them maybe here to open up the playbook and have them streaking down the far sidelines.
Completely spread out here on 2nd and 12. 3 to the left. Deontay Sykes, the lone on the right of Bryce Perkins. Perkins back to throw, looking downfield, has some pressure, gets away from it, gets away from another tackle, and then driven down hard. We have a man down in the center of the field that looks like Garrett Rand, and he looks like he's in a lot of pain. And that could be a big loss. Jamison Joseph Neola was the one that had the stop. Garrett Rand walks off under his own power, but that was a loss on the play for Chandler.
They tried to go down the field. They tried to listen to us and go down the field there. Perkins just had nowhere to throw it, and the pocket collapsed on him. Able to shake away a couple of defenders, but it's going to be 3rd and long here from midfield.
And this for Hamilton, we've been talking about what's been important for Chandler, but Hamilton's defense has been on the field a lot longer than their offense. in this game for the most part, and definitely in the second quarter, so this could be a big 3-and-out for them. Perkins rolls to the near side, looking for a man as ball's complete to Flanagan just across the 40-yard line, but won't be enough for a first down. That was a solid completion, solid rollout right there from Perkins, fundamentally sound. He also had Danny Mahan up the sidelines a little bit, but a much more confident throw from Perkins has them just short, a couple yards short, 3 yards to be exact, of the first down marker. And it looks like they're going to go for it on fourth down with just under 2 minutes to play here in the first half.
They got one-on-one coverage down here on the near side with Levi Sterling.
They're going to look back to the sideline, try to get a play, and it looks like Chandler will call their third and final timeout. Yeah, and that's an interesting matchup. Levi Sterling and Danny Mahan, both smaller guys, but very feisty and athletic guys, and that's another matchup to keep an eye on. You have the big horses, the big athletic guys on one side, and Sykes against Greathouse, and then you got Sterling against Mahan. So got some great matchups in this game.
Yeah, the Wolves, when they go trips out to that far side, Jawan Jones follows his DBs over there. So you have one-on-one coverage on the near side with no safety help at all. I don't know if the Wolves will take a look at that here, but it's 4th and 3, a big play. About a minute 39 to go. If they can put some points on the board here before half, that would go a long way for this Chandler team and getting their psyche up for the second half.
Yeah, Hamilton's showing a lot of confidence in their DBs, too, allowing them to go single coverage to put 7-8 guys in the box every time and to play single coverage in that spread offense. We resume here. It is 4th and 3 from Hamilton's 38-yard line. 9-6 is the score here from Chandler High School. The Wolves trying to take the lead before halftime, which would give, as Ben mentioned, them a lot of confidence going back into the locker rooms. Perkins going to keep it himself, looking for some space. Dives forward. He's going to be close.
Very close. The
wow.
Line judge here on the near side gave him a little bit better spot than the far side judge. And if they go from him, they might be about a foot short.
And they're not even going to measure it. It looks awfully close. I'm not sure why they wouldn't measure it. The initial call on the field was Hamilton football. Wow, yeah, they're not even going to measure the football. So another stop on fourth down for Hamilton. That looks really close.
Wow, the line to gain was the 37.
And the ball is spotted at the 37. In fact, across it.
Also, the ball was by the near side hash mark here. The chains are on the far side of the field. That's a long ways to look across the field and just go ahead and give them the first down without measuring.
Nevertheless, Hamilton takes over on offense. They hand the ball off to Smith. And Chandler Wolves do a great job not letting him go anywhere there. Nate Sample was the one that came up from the defensive back position to stop him.
Yeah, they sent both backers there expecting the run. Now Hamilton's going to go spread.
Wolves fans getting into it. They want a victory tonight against Hamilton. 2nd and 14. Sasso rolling to the far side. Has a man downfield. It's caught and out of bounds at about the 41-yard line. Solid pitch and catch right there for Sasso. And that's going to make it about a 7-yard gain, a much more manageable third down. It's 3rd and 7. Sean Pollard, the senior wide receiver, in on the stop, or in on making the catch.
Yeah, they had one-on-one with an outside linebacker there. He just ran an out towards the far side of the field. It's 3rd and long now, though, for the Huskies.
57 seconds left in the first half. Hamilton leads it 9-6. And it looks like someone moved early. And I'm pretty sure that was a Hamilton player, so it's false start. That's going to move him back 5 yards.
I think that was Trent Moore on the far side.
So after the penalty, it's going to be 3rd and 12 from their own 34. Sasso out of the shotgun, has 5 receivers. Pressure, lots of it. Gets away from it. Has one more man to beat. He pitches it. Oh, my goodness. Almost intercepted. Dangerous play by Sasso. Trying to just kind of do a little pitch downfield to a player. It was almost intercepted. But that's going to bring up 4th down, and the Wolves force their 3rd straight 3-and-out.
Nice defense there by Chandler. They had one-on-one coverage here to the near side. Sasso was looking that way. He had a man up the seam, but Chandler's pressure was able to get there before he could get a pass off, and they forced a 3-and-out.
And there's a flag in as the punt was about to be kicked. Is it another false start penalty? And it's going to be a penalty on Chandler.
A 5-yard penalty assessment marked off against the Wolves.
Lining up in the neutral zone, I guess, is Chandler. It moves him up, but still 4th down.
So 4th and 7 with Josiah Pulic.
This will be interesting here to see if Chandler does indeed get the ball back, where they'll get it back, but also if they will try and score or just kneel this and go to half.
Solid punt. Mahan catches it at the 25. Nowhere to go. Dives forward across the 30 to the 31. And he does so with 40 seconds left. And that's an interesting point there, Ben. You're in the territory of if you make a mistake, it can really, really hurt you. But at the same time, you want to take advantage of controlling the football. So we'll see how Coach Aguano directs his offense with 40 seconds left in the half.
And no timeouts left. I don't know what they're going to do here, but we'll see. About 70 yards away, no timeouts, 40 seconds.
A defensive battle in this game here at Chandler High School. Spread formation for Perkins. He keeps it himself, runs up the middle, taken down immediately. So a solid stop before anything can happen right there. No gain on the play as time just kind of ticks off the clock. And it looks like they're just going to run the clock down to end the half here as there's just 12 seconds left. So that'll do it for the first half here at Chandler High School. The Battle of Arizona Avenue. The Huskies hold a 9-6 lead as we go into halftime, and the Wolves are showing a lot of confidence based on the way they played in that second quarter.
Yeah, they got to be feeling good going into halftime. Only down 3. A couple of miscues, as we mentioned, for both teams from special teams. They can try and get that short up at halftime here and come out. Chandler's got to be a little bit more, feeling a little bit better about themselves going into half than they did those first couple of possessions. Able to move the ball downfield, get their running game going. If they can hit a couple of big passing plays, we'll see what the Wolves can do here in the second half.
So we'll take a break here from Chandler High School. That's Ben Gabrielson. I'm Jared Cohen. We'll have a little action from the Chandler High School band and some other stuff at halftime, and then we'll take over for the third quarter in what should be an exciting second half between the Huskies and the Wolves. We'll see you soon.
I'm here with Mark Jurek. He's a sophomore and he's a swimmer here for the Chandler boys. We're just going to ask him a few questions. First, how did you become interested in swimming?
When I was younger, my parents got me into swimming, and I was pretty good at it, so that made it fun.
Alright, that sounds awesome. So you've been swimming since you were like a little kid?
Yeah.
Good time.
I've been swimming for like 11 years.
Okay, that's a long time. Alright, so do you have any special like traditions or practices that you go through before competition?
I pretty much just mentally prepare because the training's already been done. There's nothing else physically you can do. Just gotta get ready.
Alright, so you have broken the record for the boys' 100-meter backstroke. How did that feel?
I was pretty happy with that considering it was the first meet of the season.
Well, congratulations. How do you train for something like that?
Basically, you just show up to every practice.
So, do you plan to train or compete in the Olympics?
I do plan to. Right now, I have like Olympic trial cuts, so I'll have an opportunity to maybe be on the team in 2016.
That's huge.
So, I mean, if I just keep doing what I'm doing, hopefully I'll go there.
Alright, well, good luck with that. It was good to talk to you. This is Mark Jurek. Thank you.
Hi, Alexis.
Hi.
How has your team been progressing since the start of the season?
Since the beginning of the season, we've been doing pretty well individually. A lot of people have dropped a lot of time pretty significantly since we started, so that's good.
What have your accomplishments been this season?
So far this season, I've been able to place pretty well in my races, and I'm almost beating my time of my last year's fastest time, so that's good.
So we know that you do lots of honors classes at Chandler. How do you find time to balance them with your cross country?
After a while, it's not that hard. You just have to be able to fix priorities and like know what's most important to get done. And once you're able to balance your time, then you'll be able to be successful anywhere.
So can you describe to me your difficult training program?
Well, since it's cross country and it's more long distance, we do a lot of longer runs more than speed workouts. But we do have to do some speed workouts just to make sure we are going fast and not just working on endurance.
So what is your favorite part about being on the team?
My favorite part is probably the team aspect because this year we've really grown as a team and it's a lot of fun to be around my team. We've actually been kind of friends this year more than just competition.
So now that the season's in full swing, how do you hope to finish?
I hope to finish with a time a lot faster than last year. And I'd also like to place, I'd like to rank like at least top 10 in this state because I'm on the track to do that right now, I think. So that would be nice.
Okay, well thank you so much, Alexis.
Thank you.
It's the Battle of Arizona Avenue. We're back and we're getting ready to get set for the third quarter in what's been a very intriguing game. I'm Jared Cohen, joined by Ben Gabrielson on this Chandler High School broadcast on pros2preps.com. 9-6 is the score. Hamilton finds himself in the lead. Now, Ben, I guess the way that you could describe the first half is more of a product of miscues with special teams. Both teams missed extra point field goals. Both teams had botched punts, and that's where we stand here as we get ready for the second half.
Yeah, all 9 of Hamilton's points have come off of those miscues on special teams, the botched punt, the short punt by Perkins when he came in for the second attempt, and Hamilton was able to take advantage, as good teams do. They're the number 2 team ranked, team in the state, and they're the defending champs for a reason. They take advantage of those miscues. But on the other side, besides those special teams blunders, Chandler's played very well. They've played very well, especially at the point of attack. I really thought we'd see, especially after those first couple of drives, the running game for Hamilton take over. Those big offensive linemen, Geyer, Moore, Campbell's pulling from the left guard position. I thought those guys would really take over and push the Wolves back, and that really wasn't the case. That they stood strong. Some good play by Taruga. We've called his name a ton tonight. Navarez has been in there. J.R. Hunt's been in there. A couple of the outside linebackers for the Wolves. Those guys have really stepped up and played well against that Hamilton rushing attack. On the other side, Chandler's been able to move the ball. The big play, of course, was that late hit on Perkins at midfield when Jawan Jones late hit out of bounds. That was able, then on the next play, Chandler handed it off to their speedster, Lucas, and he was off to the races. So a couple of miscues by both teams, one on special teams, couple on defense for Hamilton, and both teams are doing what a good team should and take advantage of those.
The total yards for both teams, Chandler has outgained Hamilton so far in this game, 125-50, and you go back to that Chase Lucas touchdown of 45 yards. That play alone almost outgained Hamilton in that whole first half. Now, the Huskies this year, they're not blowing anyone out like you're used to. Granted, they've had a very difficult schedule. They've played 2 games out of state. In-state, they've played Brophy, they've played Mountain Point, they've played Pinnacle. All 3 good programs. They're not blowing anyone out, though, that you're kind of used to seeing the Huskies do and their greatness that they've had since they've become a school. But a product of it is teams are forcing Sasso to throw the ball, and at the same token, when they force him to throw, they're getting great pressure on him. That's what we saw out of the Wolves in the first half that made their defense so successful, forcing, maybe 3 or 4 3-and-outs to close out the first half.
Yeah, it's a totally different Hamilton offense this year. Sasso's you hate to throw the game manager label out there, but he's been that. I mean, he's played very well, been very efficient, hasn't turned the ball over. We've seen his athletic ability. He's gotten out of a lot of some pass rushes from Chandler that he was as good as down and able to squeak out a few more yards. So he's a good athletic quarterback there. They just don't have that home run hitter. They've been plagued by injuries at the wide receiver position. They don't have a Taylor brother. They don't have a Jarrell Robinson. They don't have those guys right now. And teams are able to key on Tyrell Smith. They run a lot of that read option. They didn't go spread too much in that first half. We'll see if they want to spread the Wolves out here starting the second half, because right now, after those first couple drives, as we mentioned, the linebackers and defensive line for Chandler have really stepped up, especially at the line of scrimmage.
Now, how's this for a storyline? You mentioned a Taylor brother. Mm-hmm. There's a third Taylor brother that's a freshman at Chandler High School this year.
Oh, my.
Kendall and Carey both played at Hamilton. Kendall is at the University of Washington. Carey obviously plays for the Arizona Cardinals. The third Taylor is on the freshman team for the Chandler Wolves, changing it up a little bit.
Wow, how did that happen?
Not quite sure. Not quite sure. Don't know how. Not going to ask. Just know that he's wearing a different uniform.
Wow.
So, anyways, you look at what Hamilton has done though defensively. Chandler has been able to outgain them in the first half, but you can't take away, as much as the offensive production hasn't exactly been there like we've seen in years past, the defensive production has been that much better because they've been able to have leads, keep leads, and also keep games close. That Mountain Point game could have gotten away from them a little bit, and plays made like A.J. Greathouse's pick 6 last week. Plays made on the defensive side of the ball is what has kept them ahead or in games like was the case last week.
Yeah, we talked about Chandler was able to move the ball there towards the end of that first half, but this Hamilton Huskies defense, they play the way they've always played, with a lot of confidence. They play a lot of one-on-one on the outside. They're very comfortable having Greathouse one-on-one, having Jenkins one-on-one, even having Jawan Jones cover a slot receiver or a tight end coming out of the backfield one-on-one. Those linebackers are looking run and then playing pass from there. That they have 7-8 in the box. They're looking for Perkins. They're keying on Perkins, and he's made some good decisions in that first half. Let's see if he continues to do that. He's missed a couple, I think, of outside hitters on that read option where he kept the ball and may have had Fluellen on a handoff or Mahan on a handoff, or even Sykes. He had towards the end of the second quarter there, he had Sykes on that handoff where he decided to keep it. So we'll see how his decision making is coming, because right now Hamilton has played very well in the box, and they're going to continue to key on Perkins with that read option.
And how about kind of an unsung hero of this first half being the Chandler Wolves defensive line? Because we've mentioned the linebackers so often of making the tackles. They're able to make tackles in space because of the defensive linemen that are doing their job. You got guys like Logan Gunkel, Cruz Flores, and Jordan Hoyt that are wrapping up that great, big, and powerful Hamilton offensive line and creating openings for linebackers to make plays. That's kind of an unsung hero angle to take out of that first half.
Yeah, they're getting off blocks a lot better towards the end of that first half. Campos was pulled. Basically, they ran the same play 6 times in a row to start the game, where Campos would pull from that left side, come to the right. He'd join Geyer. We was talking about a big body junior at right tackle. And the defensive line for Chandler was able to make those adjustments, get off some blocks, and really swallow up Tyrell Smith or Acklace as they were coming from the backfield.
So Chandler will kick to start this second half. And that ball is going in the direction of Jarian Ackles. And there's something we talked about earlier, kick deep in the zone, but Ackles will keep it himself. Great return, has some great blocking. And even if they kick it far, which is something that we mentioned they should do, Hamilton still gets a great return to the 30-yard line.
Yeah, some good field position for both teams. We'll see how Hamilton comes out, what their adjustments are on the offensive end. They really didn't spread. We talked about they didn't really spread the Wolves' defense out much in that first half. We'll see if they make any sort of formation adjustment. Sasso right now coming out with Williams and Burke out there at least, and they might have 2 receivers set.
And so they have Pollard as well on the right side. Lone back is Smith. They'll send a man in motion. Back to throw Sasso, looking upfield. That's Williams, and it's out of his reach. That was a pretty good route run right there by Elijah Williams on about a 10-yard hitch. Came back for the ball, but was thrown a little out of the reach of Williams, so it brings up second down. But that play was orchestrated and set up at halftime, I'm sure, and they just weren't able to convert.
One other mention of note here, Taruga is not on the field. We see him right here stretching his hip flexor here on the near side, Hamilton's sideline. He's not in the game right now, so something to keep an eye on. Taruga was their best player in the first half.
Absolutely. He was their MVP, made some big plays preventing first down yards for the Huskies. Second down and 10 from their own 30. Hand the ball off to Smith, has some blockers. He's following them. Taken down at about the 35-yard line.
And they're going to continue to pound that near side, the right side of that Hamilton line. That's their strength. That's where they're going to go. Tyrell Smith coming downhill at you and able to pick up a good 5 yards.
And big right tackle Marquez Tucker was the guy that led the way for Smith to gain 5 yards on the play. So 3rd and 5. Trying to get another 3 and out of the Wolves. Sasso rolls out to the far side. Has a lot of pressure, and he's sacked. Tony Navarez makes the sack. Excuse me, that was not Navarez.
Jacobson, I believe, got in there.
Yeah, they're going to credit Garrett Jacobson with the sack. He was the first one to get there, but there was 3 or 4 Wolves that were in on that stop. And again, Hamilton just isn't able to get that passing game going. It's 4th down and about 15 after a 10-yard loss.
That was a very long developing play right there. I don't know what exactly. Sasso's rolling out to his left across his body. He only had Williams on a double move, and Sasso had players on him by the time Elijah made his cut out of the initial out.
And special teams issues were the theme in the first half. A muffed punt right there for Hamilton, Chandler, but they're still able to recover at their own 45-yard line, dodging a pretty big bullet right there. But we mentioned as we started talking here in the second half, the difference in the first half was special team miscues, and there was almost a huge one right there.
Lucky for the Wolves to jump back on that one. And I guess not much adjustments made on the special team side at halftime.
1st and 10 from their own 45 as Bryce Perkins and the Chandler Wolves trailing 9-6. They send Elijah Sykes in motion. There's 3 to the right of Perkins. Hands the ball off to Chase Lucas. Has some room up the middle. Dives forward across midfield. Taken down by Derek Anderson. About a 5-yard gain on the play. 2nd down and 5.
A lot of movement for that play for Chandler, and they gave it to Lucas, who had some space up the middle.
Lucas again with the ball. Perkins kept it himself going up the middle. Faked me out on that play.
There was a good read there by Perkins. Very good read. Read the end. I think that's Parrott playing the far side now. Read the end and kept it for a good gain.
Just short of the 1st down. 3rd down and 1. As the Wolves have had plenty of opportunities to try to take the lead for the first time tonight, but have just fallen short. They're looking to do that here on their first possession of the second half. Single coverage towards us. Perkins keeps it himself, and Caleb Pert says absolutely not. Great shoestring tackle by Pert, who came around the outside, not letting Perkins get free. As he kept it himself, they'll lose 3 yards on the play. That's 4th down. And the Wolves weren't able to convert on 2 4th downs in the first half. And they're going to go for it. It's 4th and 3 to be exact from the Hamilton 48.
This could be a punt here from Perkins, yeah.
Yeah, they do end up punting it. There's no one back there to receive it. And that ball is actually a great punt. It's a shame there was no one back there to snag it. It stopped at about the 2, but rolled in across the end zone, so Hamilton will take over at their own 20.
Who am I to question, but I felt a little uneasy having the Chandler offense on the field there this early in the second half from midfield. I know it's 4th and short, but you just got stuffed on 3rd and short. Good pooch play there by Perkins, and like you said, a very good punt. The ball hung up there about the 1 or 2 for a little while, but no Wolves in the area, so it is going as a touchback.
So Hamilton takes over. They scored a touchdown and actually scored on their first 2 drives of the game, but haven't done so since. Smith follows some blockers, trying to truck his way downfield, crosses the 25-yard line. Solid gain on 1st down. Gains about 6 on the play. They're going to credit him with 7 yards. It'll be 2nd and 3 from Hamilton's own 27-yard line.
David Da Silva is quietly having a very good game. He hasn't touched the ball yet, but he's really been the lead blocker, kind of that fullback, H-back type role. You'll see him here just offset on the near side. He'll go in motion usually and pave the way for Smith.
Smith has a lot of room, and there's no one going to touch him. Crosses the 50, has one man to try to beat down at about the 35 to the 25. Great run up the middle for Tyrell Smith. And that's the biggest play of the game for the Huskies.
Isaiah Reed caught him from behind, or Terrell Smith was gone.
And a touchdown-saving tackle right there for the Wolves. But a big gain there on 3rd down. And just like that, the Huskies are moving right along into the Wolves' territory. 7:53 to play here in the 3rd quarter. Huskies on top 9-6. I formation, Nelson in motion. Hand the ball off to Smith again. This time he's tripped up and taken down hard for a very minimal game. Might have gotten back to the line of scrimmage.
And Taruga's back in there now for the Wolves.
So they're going to credit him with a 1-yard gain on first down. It looks like Marlashawn Franklin was kind of in there to make the initial stop, the safety coming in to the line of scrimmage. 2nd and 9 from the Chandler 27. Sasso to Smith. Smith pushing his way up. Trent Moore pushing the pile by himself. Gains a few yards on the play, but it's still going to bring up 3rd down.
Taruga's now coming off the field. Something's bothering him, and he's can't play through it right now.
Yeah, how about Trent Moore, the left tackle? As Smith was taking on 3 Wolves, Moore comes in and pushes him ahead for maybe another 2 yards. It's going to be a Beaver at the next level. With 6.5 left in the 3rd quarter, it's 3rd and 6 from the Wolves' 22. Sasso, fade up top, has a man, and it is incomplete, and they throw the flag.
Wow.
That looked like pretty good coverage on the far side. Might have been some contact there, but pass interference will be the call, which will bring up a 1st down, a fresh set of downs for Hamilton.
I think that was Puffer on the far side. He had one-on-one coverage with Williams. Williams had a step, but it wasn't a very well-thrown ball by Sasso. It was kind of behind him, and I guess Puffer just didn't look back for the ball, and if you don't look back for the ball, you're kind of asking for it. It was very, very ticky-tack foul, though. Ball's in the air. Both guys kind of jostling for it. As I said, underthrown ball. That's a tough call again for Chandler.
So after the penalty, Hamilton will move up to Chandler's 12-yard line, where it's 1st and 10. They'll send a man in motion. Sasso, play action. That ball's handed off to Pollard. Chandler was not fooled on that play. A short gain on the play. 2nd down.
I think that was Sutton that wasn't fooled on the far side. Little counter from Hamilton that went nowhere. 2nd and long now from the 12.
Second and 10 from the 12. I formation. Tyrell Smith, the big playmaker so far, and then Chandler Wolves will call a timeout before this play gets off. But yeah, Tyrell Smith had that big run up the middle that kind of broke this drive open for the Huskies that were struggling to get things going. And they've been struggling to get things going for quite a while. And that play kind of sprung them free. It reminds me a lot, Hamilton, when they were playing Pinnacle, was really having trouble getting the ball moving. And then Sasso had a man downfield for a big passing touchdown. It kind of opened things up for the Huskies, and then they never looked back. That could be a very similar play in the game right here.
Yeah, they've been getting one-on-one coverage on the near side pretty much all game with Williams, and they went up to him, and they've gotten 2 pass interference calls out of both of those plays.
In the meantime, for the Wolves, opportunity to get a big stop here. They did so on that first drive of the game where the Huskies had amazing field position and were only able to turn it into 3 points. You know the Wolves will try to do that again here. 2nd down, 10 to go, 5:46 left in the 3rd quarter. Sasso to throw, knocked down. What a great play right there. Looks like it might have been Tony Navarez who knocked that ball down, but Sasso was looking to his left. And that'll bring up 3rd down.
Yeah, I think it was Jacobson that got in there and on a backer blitz, untouched, and was able to get his hands up and knock that pass down. 3rd and long from the 12.
So in checking into the game to play a safety position is Deontay Sykes, wide receiver. Don't see him in on defense very often, but they have him kind of rovering around in that backfield in case they lob it up there. 3rd and 10 from the 12. Sasso play action. Lots of pressure, taken down for a sack. Big-time defensive play right there by J.R. Hunt, the U of A Wildcat commit. Hamilton moves way back. It's going to bring up 4th down for the Huskies.
Yeah, Jacobson and Hunt came again on the outside linebacker blitz and again untouched. That time, J.R. Hunt was able to get there first. It's Jacobson and Hunt right now are having a who can get there first contest, and they've back-to-back big plays from the outside linebackers.
So the field goal unit is in. Brown will kick it. This looks to be about a 36-yard field goal. And they fake it, have a man open down the far side of the field, and short of the first down. It looks like he was just short. Hamilton runs a fake punt, had a receiver streaking down the far side of the field, but ends up a yard short of the first down marker. And what a risky call right there for the Huskies.
That was very close. He was a foot away from getting that first down. A great play. I didn't even see the receiver on the far side. I don't know if that was Riley Cooper lay down in the end zone type, because I did not see him standing there on the far side of the field. But and it was Sasso that was the holder, so he was there, gave him a good throw, and he was up the sidelines. Unfortunately, he had about 19 yards to go and got 18 and a half.
So Chandler takes over 1st and 10 from their own 4-yard line. A huge stop after Hamilton was threatening. Chandler trails 9-6. Perkins he'll keep it himself.
I don't know if he got out of the end zone.
The near side line judge is spotting him at the 1-yard line. And on the read, Perkins kept it himself. Man, against this defensive line, that's a tough task to get away from.
Especially when you run the offense where the quarterback's already getting the ball 3 yards back from the line of scrimmage.
So a 4-yard loss has him at the 1. Hands off to Lucas up the near side, has some space, gets around. What a great run right there for Chase Lucas as he crossed the 15-yard line, and that might be enough for a first down after they were pinned way back in their own territory.
This kid is showing a lot tonight. I know he's a sophomore. I haven't seen him play too much live. Yes, he's got the speed, but, man, is he a tough runner as well. Didn't go down. That was Jawan Jones, their big safety. He couldn't even take him down here on the near side.
They marked him down just short, 3rd and 2. Trying to power through is Lucas, and, man, it's going to be close. And it doesn't look like he had enough. He's going to be about a yard short. And they're going to bring the punt unit on, which is smart, because you don't want to get fancy here this deep in your own territory. How many times have we seen Chandler just come up short on 3rd down?
Yeah, they've just gotten enough to be short of the chain, and Perkins is going to be out there to punt again. We'll see if it's a better result for the Wolves' special teams.
Morris Chroma back to receive the punt. What a great punt for Perkins. Chroma catches it at his own 45, but has space. 2 great blocks, but there's a block in the back. It's coming back. Chroma with space. He's going to take it all the way back for 6, but this one is coming back.
Yeah, that was a pretty blatant block in the back, and I don't even know if it was necessary, which is the tough part for Hamilton. They had 2 gunners for the Wolves. They had 2 gunners down there first.
And Steve Bellis, head coach for Hamilton, is going to draw another flag. He had some words for the referees. So what was a touchdown is going to move back farther and farther. It has the Chandler Wolves fans fired up.
It was a block in the back, though. The long snapper, I believe, was the one that got down there. And I didn't see the gunner for Chandler, but it was clearly a block in the back. I think it was Jacobson.
Tough break right there. It could have been a game-changing play for the Huskies. And the intensity is starting to rise here.
I was just going to say the Chandler fans are letting Hamilton know and letting Steve Bellis know that they disapprove of his sideline antics.
So after all of that, sideline penalty and a block in the back, Hamilton takes over from their own 42-yard line, 1st and 10. Hamilton was able to move the ball pretty well last time out when they had when they were on offense. Tyrell Smith had a big run up the middle, but they weren't able to convert as they tried to run a fake field goal and came up about a yard short.
Interesting. I thought that block in the back was a little bit farther downfield. I would have thought Hamilton would have been farther back there with both those penalties. Block in the back took place about the 45, but the referee spotted at the 42 and pickup of 6 there on 1st down.
It's hard when the officials don't have the microphones to know exactly what they're doing from
up here. It really is. The communication is a little bit sketchy.
So 2nd and 5 from Hamilton's own 47-yard line. They lead 9-6, 2:42 left to play in the 3rd quarter. Sasso hands off to Smith. Great job right there. That would be Garrett Jacobson once again in on the stop. The initial one making the tackle, and he is having himself quite the second half.
The outside linebackers right now are coming untouched. They're blitzing every time from the outside, and both Jacobson and Hunt are getting in there without being touched by a Hamilton player.
The linebacking play has been very special today for the Wolves between Hunt, Taruga, Navarez, and Jacobson, running that 3-4 defense. Play action, Sasso sniffed out again. He's sacked for a loss. And guess who? J.R. Hunt.
J.R. Hunt and Navarez are back in there, both outside linebackers coming from that far side. And without their leading tackler from the first half, Taruga, this Chandler defense has really, really stepped up.
You know, basically what it looks like from our vantage point is they're telling the two outside guys to just go with the quarterback every single time to let the inside linebackers and the defensive line handle the running backs. That way, every time Sasso tries to roll out, he has nowhere to go.
Kind of those hybrid, that's what we see in a lot of professional collegiate football now, those hybrid outside linebackers, defensive ends, Clay Matthew type guys that are there to rush the quarterback from that outside linebacker position.
Chandler gets the punt, a very good one. A late flag comes in. Don't know what that was. That came in way after the play, so that can't be a good sign. Very good punt right there from Josiah Pola-Gates, who, after on his first punt, kind of fumbled the snap a little bit, has kind of settled in right there and is actually doing a fantastic job.
It might have been Wyatt Wilson, the backup safety for Chandler, was engaged a little bit too far after the whistle, and they might have gotten him for an unnecessary roughness there.
So a personal foul on Chandler that's going to move them back 15 and deeper into their own territory as they start this possession, trailing still 9-6 with a 1:11 left to play here in the 3rd quarter.
And it's been the opposite here in the second half in terms of field position for Chandler. They've been backed up in their own end every single possession so far. We'll see if they can get out from their own end zone here and make a couple of plays. The field position battle is a very underrated aspect of the game, I think. Chandler, the first couple of possessions of the first half, once they started to get a couple of first downs, getting some rhythm, really flip the field a little bit towards their favor, that's when they started having success. And right now they're falling into those ways of being backed up in their own end, going 3 and out from inside their own 10. That is a tough spot for a junior quarterback.
And it looks like a false start. Nike Thomas, the senior left tackle, was the one that moved a little bit too quickly. He's had the easy task, I should say, of going up against Quaylen Cunningham. And easy I use lightly.
Yeah.
As he's one of the top defensive ends in the state and this side of the U.S.
Absolutely. Any defensive tackle is going to have their hands full when you play Hamilton with Pert and Cunningham on the other side. Those guys have been phenomenal, especially Cunningham.
So that'll make it 1st and 15 for the Wolves from their own 7. They started last drive from their own 4.
And there's another flag being thrown here. Just a sidelines warning for Chandler there. So no penalty yardage will be assessed, but it is 1st and 15.
Tensions are high. You got to love it. Tensions are high. It's a big game. And Chandler has never beaten Hamilton in 17 tries, and they're seeing a light at the end of the tunnel. They're just trying to get over that hump. They've had opportunities, only trailing by 3 for pretty much this entire game. They cut it to 3 with a little time left in the first quarter, and it's been the same ever since.
Yeah, they've really got to flip the field here. This is a big possession for Chandler. Minute to go here in the third. They want to get this field position back in their favor.
So after all the penalties, 1st and 19 from the 3 is Chandler. Rolling out Perkins. Looking to the other side of the field. That's Deontay Sykes, and it's tipped away. Great coverage by A.J. Greathouse.
A great play by Greathouse. He had Sykes. Sykes had a step on him. A great play call from Chandler. If they go trips, especially to this near side, they're always getting one-on-one on the other side. And with Sykes, that's the matchup they like. He had a step on him, just a little bit underthrown. Greathouse with some good cover speed there.
And Sykes has to leave the game with a right leg injury. We'll check on that. That would be a huge blow as he's one of their deep threats. But great defense right there for A.J. Greathouse with saving what could have been a touchdown in single coverage. Perkins rolling to the near side, looking an out route, and another great defensive play by Hamilton DB. This time it's Levi Sterling deflecting and breaking that play up.
Good play there. I thought Perkins was going to run it. He had a wide receiver that was open just right in front of his face, but he elected to go to the 10-yard out. Sterling, good recovery speed there by him. A nice play, and it's 3rd and long now. Again, backed up on their own 3.
You're starting to see now why Hamilton has so much confidence in having single coverage with their defensive backs. Perkins keeps it himself, and he'll only gain maybe about 5 yards on the play. They needed a lot more than that, and it's going to force Chandler to punt for the 2nd straight possession.
It looks like Perkins will do the punting again. He got off a good one his last time. Actually, his last 2 punts have been very good with the pooch kick.
And then Morris Chroma, who last time around returned the punt for a touchdown, but it was called back because of an illegal block in the back. Try to get the same fireworks this time around without the penalty. Perkins' kick is up. Lots of hang time and lots of room for Chroma to play it, but he steps away from it, and it's picked up right at midfield by Chandler.
That was a better punt, as you mentioned, hang time. That last one was a little bit more of a line drive from Perkins, so Chroma had the ability to run up, catch it in stride, and get some rhythm going towards the side he's going. So a little bit better hang time there from Perkins was just what Chandler needed. At least it got them back towards midfield.
So Hamilton takes over 1st and 10 from the Chandler 49-yard line. Have not scored since the first quarter of this game. Hand the ball off to Ackles this time. Gets away from one tackler, and then he's swarmed by a pack of Wolves at about just past the line of scrimmage. They're going to credit him with about a gain of 2 on the play. So 2nd and 8 for Ackles and the Huskies.
Another good play by Garrett Jacobson, and that's going to take us to the 4th quarter.
That's it for 3 quarters. 3 quarters in the books at Chandler High School. We have got a ball game. This one's going to come down to the end. 9-6, Hamilton is on top. We're going to take a quick break and have the 4th quarter for you when we return. And we're set to start things here in the fourth quarter. Jared Cohen and Ben Gabrielson, a Chandler High School broadcast on pros2preps.com. 9-6, Hamilton leads it. They'll hand it off to Pollard. Cuts along the outside, dives forward towards the first down marker, which was at the 39-yard line. And a flag comes in at the end of the play in the direction of a Chandler Wolves player.
That might be on Coach Iguano there.
It looked like J.R. Hunt was still right there near an official with something to say. Coach Iguano was in the area too. Now Hunt comes off the field. Unhappy about something. Yeah, he's going to come all the way off and sit down on the bench. That's interesting. But after the penalty, it'll bring up. There were two penalties on the play that they offset. Didn't see the one on Hamilton. The flag on Chandler came after the play. So the penalty's offset after the play. It's going to bring 3rd and 1 for the Huskies. And Sean Pollard was the one that got that carry on the end around, was able to get to the outside, dove forward towards the line of scrimmage, was just about 2 yards short of where he needed to be. Could be a big play in the game right here. Hamilton gets a first down, and they're really inching further into Chandler Wolves territory. But if the Wolves can get a stop, they can set up a change of the guard. Sasso, play action. Has pressure, has to get rid of it, and does. Incomplete. No flag for intentional grounding. Doesn't matter, though, for the Wolves. It'll bring up 4th down. That play is just not working tonight for the Huskies.
No, I'm very surprised they went with the play action there. They've gone play action a few times and had De Silva leak out of the backfield, and he had him for a split second, but was being ran across. And the Chandler fans want an intentional grounding there. There was a receiver in the area.
So Gates,
and he was outside the tackle box.
Pola Gates back to punt. Lucas to receive. Kick is up. This is a good-looking punt. If it gets a Hamilton bounce, it will help even more. And it goes out of bounds at the 11-yard line. So the last 3 possessions, Chandler has had the ball. It's been at the 4, their own 7, and now their own 11. And they're going to have to go lots of yardage to get to take this lead.
Quite a few, yeah, 89. The 11 and a half to go. It really is coming down to, for me, and I hate to harp on it, it's that changing of field position. Right now, we're seeing the same exact thing. Chandler's backed up at his own end. Can't get out of there. Has to punt. Hamilton takes over about midfield, gets a first down. They're kicking from their 40, and they're able to pin him back there right again. Chandler has to do something to change that field position.
Lucas carries the ball. Caleb Pert comes around the edge to make the stop. It's going to bring up 2nd and long. It shows you, Ben, how underrated and important special teams is at any level.
Absolutely.
Doesn't matter what level you play at. If you're playing high school football, even if you pin a team back and they have electric players on offense, it still affects the way they do things.
Absolutely. Even from a field goal standpoint, Chandler is a missed field goal, which they missed back in the first half. This should be a tie game right now.
Perkins keeps it himself, gets away from Caleb Pert, slides down just short of the 15-yard line, maybe a gain of about 4 yards on the play. And now it's going to bring up a pretty important 3rd down and a manageable 8-7 is what they'll call it.
This is a big play here for Chandler. They need a first down.
They ran that play in the seam to Mitch McCauley in the first half. They haven't gone back to it quite yet. It worked pretty well. Let's see if they look to it again. No, they'll hand it off to Chase Lucas. Caleb Pert, the first one to hit him. Santana Sterling, the final one to knock him down. It's going to bring up 4th down from about the 20-yard line. And they're short, and they're going to have to punt.
Yeah, I know it's 4th and short, and you feel like time isn't on your side, but it really is right now. Still 10 minutes to go, still 2 timeouts, and it's still only a 3-point game. Good decision here.
Again, Hamilton should get the ball back with some pretty good field position. Morris Cronin back to receive. There was some pressure there on the punt. That kick goes back. It takes a Chandler bounce, and it's touched at the 41-yard line. And a flag comes in at the end of the play.
There was no there were a couple gunners in the area. They might get them for illegal touching for trying to push the ball downfield more. That's the only thing I can think of right here.
It didn't look like any players got into it after the play was over. So there shouldn't be anything in the personal foul and sportsmanlike conduct area. Officials are meeting, though.
The flag was thrown in Marleshon Franklin's vicinity, but there wasn't a Hamilton player around him. It is going to be illegal touching there.
After what was a great punt by Perkins, though, going from about the 18-yard line to the opposite 40. And I'm wondering now if Hamilton, because of the penalty, is going to ask Chandler to repunt the football. That's exactly what they're doing.
Yeah, they are. That was an illegal. They called an illegal touch there. I think it was J.R. Hunt that may have just hit the ball forward. I mean, it's midfield. I think he was trying to stop the ball from rolling. It just
hit
it. And that's going to back them up now. And after a good punt from Perkins, that finally got them, at least Hamilton, back in their own end. They're going to have to do this again. And we've seen special teams as an adventure every single time for both these teams. So anything could happen here.
Have to credit both defenses tonight. They have really done the job. Both of these teams have the capabilities of putting up some big points. I mean, Hamilton last week against a very good Mountain Point defense almost put up 30 points. Tonight against Chandler, they've only managed 9. Yet Chandler only is able to come up with 6. Good punt again from Perkins to the opposite far side of the field. Bounces across the 50, and it's still rolling. And it goes back to the same spot that the ball would have been marked at last time if not for the penalty. What a great job from the quarterback punting the football, Bryce Perkins.
I tell you, if Chandler ends up winning this game, Perkins has played well as a quarterback, but he has punted the ball very well. He kicked one off the side of his foot in his first attempt back in the first quarter. But, man, since then, he has done a good job punting from his own end and at least reversing the field position a little bit because, we've seen it takes one kick right off the side of your foot, and Hamilton has that ball in very, very good field position.
So here's the scenario. 1st and 10 Hamilton from their own 39, 9:14 to play. Sasso, option, keeps it himself. It pitched it at the last second to Ackles. Sasso got lit up as he made that pitch. They still managed to get about 2 yards on the play. 2nd and 8.
I think that was Sutton on the far side that, as you said, laid a licking on Sasso. He got the pitch off just in time. I think the ball may have hit the ground there and bounced right up to Smith, but a great job by Wesley Sutton to pick the quarterback, and he laid him out.
9:08 to play, 2nd and 8. Huskies, they're at their own 42. Sasso will throw up top. Single coverage overthrown. Almost had Elijah Williams downfield, but couldn't come up with it. That ball was actually pretty well thrown. just couldn't make the play.
Very well thrown ball, but very good coverage by Sutton. He was step for step with Williams on the far side of the field. He didn't look back for the ball, but this time it was an actually well-thrown ball by Sasso, so there was no way of having any pass interference there because Williams had to dive forward for the ball. So really good coverage by Sutton on the far side. Two very good plays by him.
And now Hamilton will spread it out. 5 wide receivers, and the Wolves don't have the right personnel on the field.
Uh-oh.
So it looks like they called a timeout. And that means they only have one remaining, I think.
Yes. Yeah, they had to burn one on defense early in the third quarter as well. So 2 of their 3 second-half timeouts have been spent on the defensive side of the ball.
You saw right before that play was set up that Garrett Jacobson ran off the field and senior Nate Sample, nickel corner, ran onto the field, yet they still didn't have the personnel that they needed. One of the only times this game we've seen Hamilton line up with 5 receivers set.
Yeah, they initially came out with those 3 backers. Sample tried to get on there into a nickel package and was then called back, and they had to burn a timeout. So only one remaining now with 9 minutes to go. Big third down here for the Chandler defense.
And they're bringing the big guy in, Chandler, the big guy on the outside. How about this, Bear Paw Mosley?
I saw that name earlier, and I was just hoping to be able to drop that one, but you beat me to it.
He's right there on the right end, the near side end for the Chandler defensive line. Hamilton goes back to 3 receiver set. The Wolves with 7 in the box. Third down, Sasso, screen, has a man, taken down and right off the bat by the Wolves. They get the stop on an important 3rd and long.
That was Deontay Sykes, as you said, plays a little defense, came in on a big third down play and blitzed from a safety position and was all over Smith on that one.
Like the play call there from Hamilton, set up their playmaking Tyrell Smith, the running back, to try to open up a screen, but the Wolves had it covered, and now they'll get the ball back with 8:30 left to play.
Mahan's back to return this one.
Pola kicks it away, high one, near side of the field. Mahan's going to let it bounce. And he picks it up at the 15, and he's wrapped up and taken down by Levi Sterling at the 20. 1st and 10, Wolves from their own 20-yard line, 8:12 to play.
This would be the best starting field position that Chandler's had in the second half, and that's at their own 20-yard line. Let's see what the Wolves come out with here. They're going to have to take a shot, I think, eventually down the field. They really have kept the ball out of the air in the second half. Maybe look for McCauley going across the middle of the field. As we said, both Hamilton backers really don't play much zone. The middle of the field seems to be pretty wide open.
Perkins keeps it himself, rolls to the outside. Quaylen Cunningham chasing him down, gets a hand on him, has a man downfield, cross the 40-yard line. There's your play downfield, Ben. That ball caught for a first down. That's Mitch McCauley. It wasn't down the seam, the center of the field, but it was on the outside, and more than enough for the first down.
Yeah, they needed to get McCauley involved. Hasn't had any targets this second half. Finally get the ball in his hands on a nice rollout by Perkins.
Lucas will take it this time. Crosses the 40. Powers his way to the 45. Caleb Pert with the tackle. And the Wolves have some momentum here as they start this drive.
Good block there by McCauley as well on his cornerback that allowed Lucas to squeak by there and pick up a good 5 on first down.
7:36 to play. 2nd and 5 from their own 45. Aguano signals in a new play for Chandler. 3 to the left, 1 to the right of Perkins with Lucas in the backfield. He looks to throw, has some space up the middle, crosses the 45. And Joseph Naoli was the one that provided the stop for Hamilton.
Not quite sure if that was a draw or if that might have just been a miscommunication. It looked like the line stood up as if it were a run, but the receivers didn't go anywhere.
Now here's a big play, Ben. 3rd and 5, just under 7 to play. Third down has not been a friend of the Wolves tonight. They need to get it done here. Perkins back to throw. Has open in the middle of the field is Deontay Sykes, who hauls it in at the 40.
Finally going to the middle of the field. That's been open all night. The safeties are just too far back. You get a one-on-one coverage. As I said, away from those trips, you get one-on-one coverage. Sykes was this time able to beat Greathouse on the inside, and a big play. Nice throw by Perkins.
Yeah, strike from Perkins. 1st and 10 from the Hamilton 40, 6.5 to play. He'll keep it as Perkins and throws a dangerous throw. He was hit by Quaylen Cunningham as he was throwing the ball, was looking towards Elijah Sykes, and that makes it 2nd down. Kind of a dangerous play right there, but no damage done. Chandler still is trying to move the ball downfield. 6:31 to play in this game. Perkins 3 to the left, 1 to the right. Throws into the flats to Lucas. Has it, crosses the 40, down just short of the 45-yard line, where A.J. Greathouse takes him down.
Like the call, Hamilton came out in a zone that time. They've been playing man basically 90% of the night. That time, Greathouse was not fooled because he was in a zone. He was just playing the flats. So instead of following Sykes down the field on that streak, he was able to come off his man and make the tackle. Tough luck.
3rd and 6. Big 3rd down again. Perkins keeps it himself. Center of the field. Caught! Hit hard by Jalen Jenkins, but Mitch McCauley makes a great grab. He's slow to get up, but he made the catch at the 30-yard line, which should be enough for the 1st down. It is.
Right in front of the safety again. They're getting the matchups they want through that formation, and right now they're finally exploiting it across the middle, right in front of the safeties. They basically got one-on-one across the board right now.
Wolves fans fired up here at Chandler High School. 6:10 to play. Lucas carries it inside, dances around, taken down at about the 35-yard line. Ball came out at the end of the play. It's being held by a Hamilton player, but the referees ruled him down. That would have been disastrous.
Yeah, nice cut up the field from Lucas. Might have been trying to get a few extra yards. The ball did come out, but they're ruling him down.
Joseph Naoli was the one that came away with the ball for Hamilton, but but a solid gain for the Wolves on 1st down. 2nd and 5, 5:35 to play in the game. Perkins directing traffic, back to throw, feeling some pressure, gets a block, looking downfield. Incomplete. Was looking in the direction of Deontay Sykes, who couldn't haul it in. It'll make it 3rd and 5, another 3rd down. They've executed on 2 3rd downs on this drive.
And a nice job there by Sykes. He was running the streak. He initially beat Greathouse off the line, but saw his quarterback in trouble, worked back towards him, and almost came up with a catch there. Good job by Sykes to come back to his quarterback. We've said it all night. The near side here is bump and run coverage, one-on-one with Greathouse.
3rd and 5 from the 25, 5:24 to play. Perkins keeps it himself, dumps it down. Dangerous throw was deflected at the line of scrimmage. And that's going to bring up 4th down as Chandler tried to set up a screen there. And this looks like it is 4-down territory. They're outside of field goal range. Perkins is still on the field. A huge 4th and 5 now for the Wolves.
Yeah, that was tipped by Brady Denton, the senior defensive lineman, who coincidentally was the one who was called for that block in the back on the punt return that brought back the touchdown. So he almost made amends by picking off that screen pass.
Well, here's the biggest play of the game. 5:20 to play, 9-6. Hamilton on top, 4th and 5 from the Hamilton 25. And Coach Aguano's going to burn his 3rd and final timeout to make sure that they get this one right. This one makes sense.
Now, normally you wouldn't say this might be the game with 5 minutes to go, but now that they are out of timeouts, this may be it. I don't know. Chandler defense has been stepping up all night long. Hamilton, is going to run the ball, so they're going to melt some clock. If they can get a 1st down or 2, they might be able to run it out. So this is a enormous play right now for Chandler, 4th and 5. They're negating that 42, I think it'd be, they're at the 25, 42-yard field goal, and they're going to go for it here on 4th and 5.
It's a long one to ask for a high school player, 42 yards. They're going to keep the ball in the hands of their playmaker, Bryce Perkins. Hamilton's defense has made the plays they've needed to make all night when these 3rd and 4th downs have come up. Let's see if Chandler can reverse that trend here. 5:20 to play. Hamilton 9, Chandler 6, 4th and 5 from Hamilton's 25-yard line. Man in motion. Hand the ball off. It's a reverse. Sykes, Elijah Sykes has a block, but no space to run. Tries to power through. Is he there? It doesn't look like it. He's a yard short. Great pursuit by the Hamilton defense as Chandler runs a reverse to Elijah Sykes, and they are a yard short.
Yeah, long developing play there, and Hamilton was not fooled at all. They stayed home. Pretty much everyone stayed home there on the far side, and Sykes had a lot of ground to make up and a lot of defenders in his way to do it and just couldn't quite get there.
And how about Bryce Perkins taking on Quaylen Cunningham as the lead blocker for that play, but just not enough space to come up with. So Hamilton takes over on downs with 5:11 to play. 1st and 10 from their own 22. They can try to milk this clock as Chandler is out of timeouts. There's a sweep to the outside to Ackles. Short gain on the play. Maybe got to about the line of scrimmage. And then some. About a gain of 3 on the play. 2nd down.
And Chandler is hitting tonight. They have been playing very physical in the box, at the point of attack, around the line of scrimmage. They have really played some physical football at the line of scrimmage there. They are hitting Hamilton right in the mouth right now.
Just under 5 to play. 2nd down and 8 from the Hamilton 24. Sasso has 2 backers behind him, and Williams spread out to his right. Hand the ball off. It's a sweep this time to Pollard. Has a hold, tries to dive forward. So it's going to be 3rd and mid-range for Hamilton.
A big collision there at the line of scrimmage. Looks like
Yikes.
Thomas Chisholm is really having a tough time getting back to the sidelines. He collided very hard with Smith coming down.
Yeah, and he is...
He's a little woozy right now.
Woozy's a good word. Woozy is a good word. 3rd and 6, little over 4 minutes to play. There's going to be less than 4 minutes left. When this play is over, a huge play in the game right now for Chandler. They are out of timeouts, as mentioned. This is a big stop, and the Chandler fans know it. 3rd and 6. Hamilton's own 26. Sasso has a man in motion, hands it off to Smith, dives forward, and the ball came loose! The ball came loose! It's a fumble, and Chandler recovers!
I think that was J.R. Hunt.
Huge play in this game where all Chandler needed was a stop. Instead, they get a fumble, and they'll take over on Hamilton's 26-yard line.
Enormous play by J.R. Hunt. He came in there untouched again from his outside linebacker position and wrapped up, put his helmet right on the ball. Ball came loose. It's Wolves' ball, and they have all the momentum now with 3.5 to go.
0-17 are the Wolves in their history against Hamilton. They're trying to make history tonight. Perkins hands the ball off to Lucas, who powers the ball across the 25 to about the 23-yard line. Gain of about 4 or 5 on the play. It'll make it 2nd down. 3:20 to play, clock ticking. Chandler with no timeouts. Everyone is standing here at Chandler High School. Man in motion. Lucas gets the ball and has blockers in space. Crosses the 20-yard line to about the 10-yard line, where it'll be 1st and goal.
Jawan Jones saved a touchdown there. Lucas went up untouched up the middle. A good push by the Chandler O-line, and Lucas does the rest with his speed.
You see the electricity that comes from Chase Lucas when he gets some space. He runs very hard up the field. 2:53 to play. 1st and 10 from the 10. Perkins hands it off to Lucas again.
No, he keeps it.
He keeps it. Oh, no, Perkins kept it, and he's in the end zone for the touchdown. Great read right there from Bryce Perkins. Faked everyone out, including the Hamilton Huskies. And the Wolves take a 12-9 lead with 2:44 to play.
Enormous play by Bryce Perkins. A phenomenal read. Kept the ball inside of Lucas's gut for as long as he could. Pulled it out. Went right around Quaylen Cunningham's side, the big defensive end. And it is a Wolves lead right now. Can they hold it? 2:45 to go.
Extra point is up and through. With 2:44 to play, 13-9 is the score. The Wolves fans are going nuts off the fumble by Hamilton. The Wolves respond, and they have 2:44 away from making history.
That was a big-time extra point as well. As many miscues as we've seen in special teams, that now makes it a 4-point lead. So Hamilton has to score a touchdown here, which they have not done since the first quarter.
Hamilton hasn't scored at all since the first quarter. It's been a shutout for the Wolves the last 3 quarters or so. And you see the Wolves, they're smelling victory, but they still have time left. You're still going up against the state champs, and they know it. Wow. That escalated fast.
That was a big turn of events there from Chandler. They rode that momentum from the fumble. 2 big running plays from their studs, Perkins and Lucas, and they've been riding those underclassmen this entire game. They take the lead. Here comes the special teams now.
All important special teams. Hamilton takes it to the 25 where they will have 2:38 to get into the end zone to win this game. You go back in history a few years. Chandler had the game won. Hamilton makes a great comeback behind Zach Bowman, who's now NAU's all-time leading rusher, and they throw a Hail Mary on the last play of the game to Kyron Poe, who's now NAU's quarterback, in a Hail Mary type play. That was the closest the Wolves have come to winning. And the Wolves are definitely hoping that a repeat performance does not occur. 1st and 10 from their own 26. Sasso to throw, has time, rolls out, man down the sideline, incomplete pass. Good coverage downfield for Wes Sutton, intended for Elijah Williams.
Good coverage by Sutton. He may have gotten there a little early on Williams. They didn't call it this time. So maybe a makeup call from the first 2 pass interferences that I thought were iffy. That one, I think he got there a little early, but they get away with it, and it's 2nd and 10.
And the ball might have been a little bit out of reach as well. 2nd and 10, 2:32 to play.
Two and a half to go. We'll see if Sasso can go to the air here, something they haven't been able to do at all in the second half.
Under center is Sasso, rolling out, pitches it to Ackles, has some blockers up front. Great job right there, J.R. Hunt.
I tell you, if you're a Wildcat fan, you are excited to see this kid coming to Tucson next year, as I know 2 Wildcats in this booth are. Hunt has been everywhere tonight.
Great shoestring tackle of Ackles. And J.R. Hunt makes a big play. 3rd and 7, Hamilton's own 28. We are 2 minutes away from a Chandler victory for the first time ever against Hamilton, but still a lot of work to do. Under center, Sasso. Quick throw. Fade. Tipped away. Great coverage by Wes Sutton, and a flag comes in very, very late.
Wow.
Pass was intended for Elijah Williams, single coverage. The ball was tipped in the air, and after the ball had come back down, a flag came in. And they're calling it pass interference.
I'm going to be honest. I did not see a pass interference on that play at all. That was a great play by Sutton. Both guys going up for a jump ball, and he knocked it out of his hands. That is a very tough call to go against the Wolves right now, especially on third down. I mean, Sasso's going to Elijah Williams. That's what they're doing now. They're getting Elijah Williams. He's been targeted every single pass play this half.
So instead of 4th and 7, it's 1st and 10 on Hamilton's own 44, 1:45 to play. Deontay Sykes is back in on offense, deep at safety. Out route to Ackles, makes the catch and gets out of bounds across midfield. Gained about 6 on the play. Oh, the ball came out at the end of the play, incomplete.
Now, going along with what you said, Kyron Poe caught the game-winning touchdown pass. Right now, Hamilton has James Sonsky in the game, a 6'7" player listed as a quarterback.
He is their backup quarterback, big number 19.
He was just in the game last play. They took him out now. So Elijah Williams on the far side, he's been Sasso's go-to here.
5 receivers. Sasso feeling the pressure. Bear Paw Mosley provided it. Pass is incomplete and headed for Tyrell Smith. And Bear Paw almost had him.
Bear Paw was bearing down on him, and Sasso could feel it. He had that internal clock go off in his head, tried to get rid of it quickly. Tyrell Smith could not hang on. It's 3rd and 10.
Important piece of this Chandler defense, Marlashawn Franklin was in on the coverage of Tyrell Smith, was slow to get up. 3rd and 10. Hamilton at their own 44 with 1:33 to play. Shotgun 3 to the right, 2 to the left of Sasso. Back to throw. Feeling the pressure. Upfield, has a man, turns around Williams and makes a huge catch at the 20-yard line. Great pitch and catch from Sasso to Elijah Williams. 1st and 10 Huskies at the Chandler 20 with 1:25 to play.
On the run, put the ball on the money. When in doubt, throw short and to that back shoulder. It is an almost impossible play for the cornerback to make, especially in a one-on-one situation. That's what he did. Elijah Williams was able to locate the ball, turn to his back shoulder, make the catch, something that ASU has done very well this year.
Yeah, they love running that with Jalen Strong, that back shoulder fade. 1st and 10 Huskies. Man in motion. Sasso keeps it himself. Thought about pitching it. Nowhere to go. That's a smart decision this far down the field not to make a mistake. The Chandler Wolves did a great job of locking that play up. Gained maybe a yard on the play.
Nice play there by Sutton to make Sasso keep the ball, keep him in bounds, keep that clock running. Nice play there from the Wolves DB, who's played an outstanding game tonight. I really think Wesley Sutton has played a very, very good game on the outside. They pretty much put him in one-on-one situations the whole night. Yes, he's gotten called for at least 3 pass interference plays, one being that controversial one just a little bit ago. But I think he's played a very good game, especially against really the only deep threat that Hamilton has shown all game, Elijah Williams. So we'll see what they do here. It's 2nd and 9 from the 18. 1:20 to go, 13-9 in favor of Chandler. Sasso's been looking for Williams basically this entire drive. They tried some underneath routes that were unsuccessful. We'll see if they go to the air here. They do have plenty of time. 1:20 to go. If you're going to throw towards the sidelines, they'll have some time to put some into the end zone. And this Chandler defense, we'll see they come out in more of a nickel look. And they've got one-on-one down here on the near side. See if Sasso goes that way.
Send a man in motion. Sasso rolls left. Good block picked up. Goes to the sideline, and it's caught by Williams into the end zone for 6.
Unbelievable. Sutton was right there. I think he even got a hand on it. The ball went straight up in the air and right to Elijah Williams, who coasted into the end zone.
Great coverage from Sutton. Williams almost tips it to himself, and they take the lead. Wow. Husky fans going nuts.
This is just heartbreak for the Wolves right now. They've seen this story so many times. There's still a lot of time left, 1:12 to go. This is a big extra point here from Hamilton as well.
Snap down, kick is up and through. So with 1:12 left in the game, the Huskies lead it 16-13. What a turn of events. And there's two things to go back on that play, on that drive, I should say. The pass interference on 3rd and 7, which was questionable, and then a huge play downfield from Sasso to Elijah Williams, a back shoulder grab that got them all the way to the 20, and then Williams completes the drive, making a big-time catch with a guy draped all over him and takes it in for 6.
I'd say I feel for the kid. Wesley Sutton played a very good possession. He had great coverage the entire night on Elijah Williams. He knew the Wolves knew where the ball was going. The ball has been going to 85 all second half. It was going his way. Like you said, a tough pass interference call. Sutton was there. He kind of went for the do-or-die play, laying out for that out route. It went off of his hand and straight up in the air. Williams was able to get the fortunate bounce and coast into the end zone. Tough break for the Wolves. A lot of time left. 6 down by 3. No timeouts left. We'll see what the Wolves can do now on offense, but the wind has been taken out of their sails a bit there. The Chandler fans still believe. We're hearing them stomp the stands right in front of us here. They still think they got it in them. Here's the pooch kick.
Pooch kick up, caught at about the 20-yard line. Needs some blockers. Gets a couple. Has a few lead blockers. Crosses the 25. Still on his feet. Still on his feet. Down the sideline. Hit hard. That was Terrell Flanagan with the solid return there to about the 40-yard line, where the Chandler Wolves will take over. No timeouts. 1:03 left to play.
So 70 yards, 68 yards away. They're going to spot it at the 32. 68 yards, 1:03 to go. No timeouts. We'll see what this junior's made of now. Bryce Perkins.
Deontay Sykes catches the pass. Dives forward, crosses the 40-yard line. Solid play on first down. They got to be on the ball.
They're going to need to spike this one. They got a first down. Well, they spotted him a little bit short. They're not going to spike it.
45 seconds left. Perkins back to throw, looking to the center of the field. Has a man that's caught. That's Elijah Sykes. Crosses the 45. Still clock running. That's a first down marker. They got it. They'll start the clock again once everything is spotted. Perkins will take a spike here. They're taking a little while to get everything set. Now they do. Perkins spikes the ball. 38 seconds left. 1st and 10. Wild finish here at Chandler High School. Wolves took the lead with a little over 2 minutes to play. Huskies drive the ball right back down the field. They score for the first time since the first quarter, as Sasso and Elijah Williams connected from 20 yards out. Now it's Bryce Perkins and the Wolves back with the ball on offense. Perkins back to pass. Looking to the sideline. Has a man. Great pitch and catch right there. Mitch McCauley has made some great catches. A deep out route right there. Crosses midfield. And that's not only a big play downfield that goes out of bounds. They don't have to spike the ball.
I was just about to say before that play began, if I'm Bryce Perkins, I'm looking 13's way. The senior Mitch McCauley has been sure-handed all night. He's been running very good routes. Hamilton right now is just playing basically a 3-deep zone where they're letting everybody right in front, and Chandler is doing that. They're taking the underneath routes.
Perkins up the center of the field, and it's broken up. No flag on the play. Jalen Jakins and Levi Sterling were in on the stop.
pretty simultaneous there. I think that's a decent no call.
It's a good no call.
Both players got there about the same time. You got Sykes and McCulley here to the near side. Perkins has been looking that way all game.
Perkins back to throw, looking that way. Has it caught by Deontay Sykes across the 30-yard line, gets out of bounds, 26 seconds to play.
And honestly, they could run that route every single time. Great House isn't playing as physical as bump and run anymore. He's kind of laying off Sykes, giving him that hitch to the outside, and Perkins has been taking advantage right now.
Makes it 3rd and 2. Chandler from the Hamilton 30. Everyone standing here at Chandler High School. 26 seconds left. Perkins looking to the sidelines again. Whoa, had a man. That was McCulley, but throws behind him. And that brings up 4th down.
Yeah, McCulley had that post in the middle of the field where they've have had that open all game. They basically have Jones out there on an island, and they're able to get to the middle of the field. McCulley was open. A good cut from him. Perkins just a little bit behind him. 4th and 2 now.
22 seconds to play. Stop here. Hamilton wins it. 1st down. We keep trucking. Perkins hands the ball to Chase Lucas. Has some blocks. Has some space. Crosses the 15 and out of bounds for a Wolves 1st down.
What a heady play by a sophomore there. He got the yards he needed, found some space, but also managed to get out of bounds. Huge play by Chase Lucas.
And it only took about 5 seconds off the clock, 17 seconds to play.
They're going to have a couple shots at the end zone here. Right now, you got to think you're hopefully within a field goal range to tie this thing. You got to make sure, though, that if you aren't going to get a 1st down, that you are up and spiking it.
Downfield, and the ball's caught in the end zone. Deontay Sykes catches the ball. Touchdown, Wolves. 13 seconds to play.
Unbelievable catch by Deontay Sykes. That was absolutely incredible. Perkins put it in one spot where only one guy could get it, and his guy went and got it. What a catch. That was right on the shoestrings of Sykes. He was able to beat Greathouse. I said he was playing off him a little bit more than he has been all game. That hitch has been there all drive, as I mentioned, and they were able to hit it in the corner of the end zone. Great throw, great catch. The Wolves now take the lead by 4.
Extra point is up and good. The Wolves now 13 seconds away from making history. And you go back to that heady play on 4th down by Chase Lucas, just driving forward, and then with the notion to get out of bounds in the process.
Phenomenal drive, phenomenal clock management right there by a Chandler team that's led by a junior and a sophomore. There is a bright future here at Chandler. Those two guys have been phenomenal all night, finally getting some creases in that Hamilton defense, finding some holes. Perkins had some great throws on that drive, looking for McCulley, looking for Sykes.
Now, you're still thinking, if you're a Chandler fan, there is still 13 seconds left on the clock. Now, you had a lead, and Hamilton marched down the field in less than 2 minutes to score. There's still time on the clock. 13 seconds to be exact. 20-16, Chandler leads it, looking to get their first victory over Hamilton after going 0 for their first 17 against them.
This has been, we kind of talked about it at halftime. It was kind of a stalemate of a game. Much of the third quarter and half of that fourth quarter was spent Chandler on its own end. They'd go 3 and out, punt. Hamilton would get the ball, get a 1st down, and then be stopped, make a pooch punt inside the 10, and it would start it all over again. It was kind of that same cycle. Once Chandler got out of that field possession, able to flip the field, they finally got some room, scored a touchdown, and then the dramatics took place. They're saying the returner was down. He had his knee on the ground when he fielded the ball, so 9 seconds left now.
9 seconds left. Hamilton will take. You wonder if they try to do a quick out route towards midfield, maybe a deep out route with 9 seconds left. You have enough time to run 2 plays, but if you do, you have to get out of bounds. Hamilton still has 2 timeouts remaining. And back on the field is backup quarterback James Sosinski. He's at the far end of the field. And actually, you know what? They just took him out of the game. They put 4 seconds back onto the clock because they didn't take any time off the clock on that kick because he was ruled down. So 13 seconds left. 2016 Chandler. Sasso to throw. Looking downfield, and it's intercepted by J.R. Hunt. He's going to take it for 6. The Chandler Wolves are going to win this game.
Who else to make that big of a play when it mattered most?
The Chandler players, the Chandler fans are beside themselves here at Chandler High School. As the Wolves are going to win this game, they now lead it 26-16 with 4 seconds to play.
Unbelievable. There are grown men taking their shirts off and waving them over their heads. There are people going crazy here at Chandler and Austin Field. An unbelievable game. And from somebody that, obviously didn't have a dog in this fight, poetic justice, I think, for Chandler High School. They played phenomenal all night, especially once they corrected their special teams miscues. They got back in this game, played a phenomenal second half, really stuck with it. They were pinned back so far in their own end for much of that second half, and were finally able to break through. Bryce Perkins, heck of a game. Chase Lucas, unbelievable game. But really, this Chandler defense showed a lot tonight. They went toe-to-toe with some of probably the best front seven that they're going to face the entire year in Hamilton. They played physical at the line of scrimmage, and they were able to stop the Hamilton run when really Hamilton was one-dimensional the entire night. That extra point was no good, so it's 26-16 with 4 seconds to go. But Chandler's going to win this game.
J.R. Hunt, you knew that they were going to do a quick underneath play, and he read it out like he's been reading every play tonight. He has read Sam Sasso like a book tonight, and he returns that for 6 to put an exclamation point on this game. And the Chandler faithful are just beside themselves. Like you said, grown men spinning their shirts around. Couldn't have put it better myself.
I'm not kidding. That's actually what's going on in front of me. But it is just chaos here at Austin Field. And honestly, can you blame them? I mean, they've been waiting 17 years for this, and they're finally getting it in such dramatic fashion. The Wolves break the streak. 18 was they're not going to be 0-18 versus Hamilton. Lost the last 17 years. They're finally getting the W. Phenomenal win for this Chandler Wolves team.
You knew that the Wolves were in position to do it. They just couldn't get over that hump. They couldn't get that scoring drive together. And on the last 2 times they've had the ball, they've been able to move down the field against a great Hamilton defense.
To start off this game, it was Chandler's MO. They made mistakes in special teams. They were penalized. That's what's been holding this Chandler team back for so long. They've had all the talent in the world. You look at the talent that's come out of there. Not only Brett Hundley, Deion Jordan, Cameron Jordan. Those guys are in the NFL. Marcus Wheaton. The Jordan brothers were first-round picks. Richie Incognito's in the NFL. All those guys, they've had phenomenal talent here for so many years, just not able to put it together for whatever reason. And this year it seems that Chandler is playing with a lot more unity, a little bit more spark, and a heck of a lot more courage and guts.
And we mentioned it off the top of this broadcast. This is a Chandler Wolves defense that only 3 of the guys that line up on defense are not seniors. So this is a very veteran-led group, and you saw that here tonight as they were able to buckle down for almost the entire ball game, gave up a tough touchdown with just over a minute left, but were able to do just enough as an short squib kick is pursued. Hamilton has it. They're going to take over about the 45-yard line with 0.6 seconds left before this Chandler Wolves celebration can begin.
Coach Iguano said to you before the game that Chase Lucas is going to be one of the best to come out of this school, and as we said, the talent that's come out of here tonight, I believe him. As a sophomore, that kid everything, speed, vision, ran with some toughness tonight, ran behind his pads, and like we said, that great move there on 4th and 2, they hand it to him. And not many teams in the state will say 4th and 2, here you go, sophomore, get us his first down, and get out of bounds, and let us score the game-winning touchdown.
Hamilton is going to take a knee with 0.6 seconds left.
Coach
And
Iguana.
that'll do it. For the first time in 17 tries, the Chandler Wolves knock off the defending state champion Hamilton Huskies.
And I'd love to see an update because Mountain Point was up 7-6 on Desert Vista, so a close game there. We'll try and get an update on that one, but an unbelievable game here at Austin Field. The Chandler Wolves take down the Hamilton Huskies 26-16.
Thank you so much for joining us tonight. That has been Ben Gabrielson. I'm Jared Cohen. It's been a great broadcast here from Chandler High School. Once again, the final 26-16. This has been a Chandler High School broadcast on pros2preps.com.